Scene change in Long Dai base 3 days later, the army participating in the exercise were all present. Zhao Qing waited for a long time but still did not see Qin Mo. His figure could not help but start to become nervous. Xiao Long's team on the side saw Zhao Chang and instantly revealed a look of satisfaction on their faces. This year, team leader Zhao Zhan brought Langan across the stage. Actually, it's not bad. If Langan doesn't come, Xiao Long can be the first in the countdown. Finished speaking, immediately welcomed a wave of people. In their eyes, even if Langan defeated Haley, those Americans must have given up to you guys. This time coming to Yenyang was just a group trip for a day. Which team goes on a day trip without knowing? Qin Mo looked at Captain Xiao Long with disdain. The Langan team members instantly became serious when they saw Qin Mo coming. In their eyes, Qin Mo was Langan's soul. A guiding light in the darkness. At this time, Qin Mo patted Zhao Qing's shoulder and told him to rest assured. With me at Langan, this year we will be number 1. At this moment, Deep Vu Lam brought along the team members and walked over arrogantly. Just with Qin Mo, you can make the number 1 Langan in the countdown for many generations, win first place? It's really extremely funny. The remaining captains saw Deep Vu Lam coming. In a flash, they revealed charming looks, all indicating that their team was just passing by for a visit. Lyan, under the leadership of Captain Deep, will definitely be able to win first place this year. This year's competition under the control of Deep Vu Lam, in addition to the regional special forces competitions, also added a competition of the general education. But because Lyan did not have a general coach, Deep Vu Lam temporarily replaced the position of general coach. Although this instructor seemed casual at first glance, the strength of the Tiger team he led was second only to Liren. This inevitably caused Zhao Qing to start to feel nervous. And at this moment, the head instructor was competing in a segment. Yi Wulan had successfully drawn Qin Mo, it was all in his plan. He would have to settle the debt of humiliation from last time. Facing Deep Vu Lam, Qin Mo did not say anything. In his eyes, Lyan was just a bunch of dancing clowns. He himself had heard too many meaningless things. But Qin Mo's silence in the eyes of others was indeed a sign of weakness. Facing team leader Yi, Qin Mo didn't even dare to fart. This year, Team Lang Na will be ranked first from the bottom. When the Tiger and Wolf teams were lined up, Qin Mo learned that they had been under Zhao Qing's leadership for the past year. Every day, they practiced the bodybuilding technique that he had taught them before. Then he ordered the Wolf team not to bring any other equipment. They could just bring their daggers. Zhao Qing listened and widened his eyes on the spot. This was the first time he heard about not bringing any other equipment. But Qin Mo is a man who can bring people pleasant surprises every time. Zhao Qing followed Qin Mo's request and went down. 10 minutes later, just as both sides were in position, the first Special Forces competition, Wolf Tooth vs. Tiger, officially began. At this moment, on the other side of the Tiger team, several people looked at the Lang Na team member who was not carrying any equipment. Their hearts were instantly filled with joy. In their eyes, this was definitely a defeat for the Lang Na team. Find yourself a good excuse first. Maybe you can save some face. The commander of the Tiger squad said to Qin Mo, didn't Instructor Qin let them die? Beating a bunch of soldiers without equipment was no different than beating a 4-year-old child. Hearing that, Qin Mo laughed and said that to beat someone from the Tiger team, 1 knife was enough. Hearing this, Commander Manhwa thought to himself that this Qin Mo is too crazy. I will see how you end up. At this moment, the person in charge of observing the Tiger team was suddenly shocked. Because in his line of sight, he could not see a single member of the Wolf Fong. The atmosphere at the scene instantly became tense. The commander of the Tiger squad was furious upon hearing this. You guys search carefully for me. Qin Mo was quietly watching from the side. A group of Tiger team members were shocked, thinking to themselves. They didn't expect Zhao Qing's training to be even better than they had expected. At this moment on the battlefield, the Wolf Tooth team did not have the burden that other equipment brought. The mouth was like a pack of wolves hiding in the grass, slowly heading towards the passing Tiger. Not long after, the members of the Lang Na team appeared in the Tiger's sight. The Tiger's commander was immediately overjoyed when he saw this. He never thought that Zhao Beifeng's nephew would make such a lowly mistake, showing up in such an important position. Following the commander's orders, the heavy machine guns on the fort fired towards the Lang Na team members. Master Tan, is that your strategy? Qin Mo calmly smiled and said that in front of absolute power, any fighting skills were useless. The world only saw Qin Mo giving Langan team members physical training. Under such heavy firepower, they were unharmed. Because their speed was really too fast. The machine gun couldn't predict their next move. Or the bullet density was too dispersed. Or the altitude was not correct. Seeing these 10 or so Lang Na people completely disappear from the telescope's view, the commander ordered the Tiger team to move into close quarters defense. As soon as he finished speaking, the radio rang, number 005 died. Please lie down. 003 is dead, lie down. Without waiting for the others to react. All members of the Tiger Force were burned to death in the close combat. Commander of the Tiger looked at the uninjured Wolf-Tooth team. Standing in front of his team, his eyes widened. When the last 000 died, the Tiger squad captain died and the battle ended. Team Lang Na annihilated the entire Tiger team with 0 casualties. Won this competition. Directly qualified for the finals. Although this was a bit beyond Yi Yulan's imagination. Fortunately, everything was still within his control. In his eyes, the Langya team would definitely lose. And Qin Mo would definitely die. During the opening ceremony of the second day of the finals. At this time, the police had surrounded the scene. This inevitably made everyone present calm down. Look at the guards carrying their guns and loading them. Someone important must be coming. A car carrying a military flag appeared in everyone's sight. The person who stepped down from the carriage suddenly shocked everyone present. He was the marshal of the Chinese military, Lu Weijian. The replacement commanders immediately saluted him. Following the head instructor Lang Na, Qin Mo, and head instructors Li Rin and Yi Yulan, they entered the field. The competition officially began. At this moment, Yi Yulan suddenly interrupted the host. I just counted that the Langya team only had 19 people and we had 20 people. I suggested that General Qin directly participate in the battle and command at the front line. Hearing this, Qin Mo agreed with a calm expression. But at this moment, Deep Vu Lam revealed a smile that was not easily detected. Deep Vu Lam said that if it was the final match, it should be a bit more exciting. As Captain Lyan, he asked to change the rules of the exemplary practice into an unlimited life and death battle. Everyone here showed a look of fear. If Langya was like this, he probably wouldn't be able to hold on for more than an hour. The Yi family members beside them were overjoyed. Winning or not was not important. They just wanted to use the opportunity to kill Qin Mo and take away the 7 martial arts divine skills. However, the surprising thing was that Lu Weijian had already agreed to this request. Qin Mo now also had an expression of being fine. Because in his eyes, Zhao Qing's physical training to deal with these scum was completely enough. He didn't even need to go on stage. At this time, Deep Vu Lam also ordered Loi Nan's team members to remove all their firearms and prepare for close combat. At the command of the host, the competition officially began. This is not just a simple group battle, but a contest between martial arts and physical training. Everyone present was surprised. The Lang Na team was ranked first from the bottom. They were actually able to match the strength of Loi Nan's team. Deep Vu Lam heard that and immediately revealed an evil smile. Equal strength, the best show is yet to come. A second later, the team member Loi Nan seemed to have entered berserk mode. His body became so hard that swords and spears could not penetrate it. Qin Mo saw the determined gaze and suddenly felt something was wrong. These people must have done something to their bodies. Hastily ordered Captain Tru Quinn to quickly give up. The captain heard the 2 words give up and was stunned for 2 seconds. But in just these 2 short seconds, the Loi Nan team instantly killed a Lang Na team member. Tru Quinn saw his teammate die in front of him. I want to fight to the death with you. Qin Mo saw this and immediately panicked, hurriedly shouted to stop them. All of them opened their spirit holes. The current Langya was no match for them. Not long after, all the Langya team members fell down. Yi Yulan stepped on the head of the Langya team member, revealing a smug smile. Today, I want to return all the oppression and humiliation that Qin Mo brought to Li Run to Yulangya. Yulang Na team just need to say Qin Mo is a waste. Then I will let you guys get out of here alive. Zhao Qing, you are the team leader. Then let's start with you. Tru Quinn was beaten and had no strength to fight back. He was lying exhausted on the ground. He gritted his teeth and looked at Deep Vu Lam. Our Lang Na is not someone who is afraid of death. Don't even dream about it. Deep Vu Lam instantly became angry, his face showing blue veins. If so, then you should die. Immediately asked the team member to bring a knife. With a loud bang, fresh blood instantly spurted out. The knife had pierced through Zhao Qing's body. The scene was instantly filled with the strong smell of blood. Qin Mo's pupils wrinkled when he saw this. He didn't expect this simple match to turn out like this. Deep Vu Lam smiled inside, my hand slipped and didn't cut your lungs. The next knife will definitely not miss again. Captain Tru, you just need to say that Qin Mo is a waste and I will spare you. Tru Quin's eyes firmly looked at Deep Vu Lam. Deep Vu Lam, listen carefully. Compared to instructor Qin Mo, you are nothing but trash. Hearing that, Deep Vu Lam's expression suddenly changed. If true Quinn you don't want to live anymore, then I will fulfill your wish. After saying that, in the sky, phantom images appeared and attacked True Quinn. At this moment, True Quinn smiled, waiting for death to come. At this moment, a loud bang was heard. Qin Mo punched Yi Yulan. At this moment, Zhao Qing looked at Qin Mo with hope. Instructor Qin had taken action, and our Langya was saved. At this moment, Qin Mo coldly looked at Deep Vu Lam and said, "Just by being human, you want us Lang not to submit." Qin Mo turned to Marshal Lu and said, "Can I play 1 versus 30? Commander Su beside him started to panic. Qin Mo was his last trump card in Hua Hai. He couldn't possibly have any problems, right? Lu Weijian saw this and immediately took off his hat to show respect. Then he told Qin Mo that he could play, and the game continued. Finished speaking, Qin Mo used extreme speed to lead the team member Lyan into the woods. All the spectators present were immediately shocked when they saw Qin Mo's speed. This speed was indeed faster and stronger than Li Ren's, even beyond their range of perception. Qin Mo ran towards the woods because of Yi Yulan's intention. There were so many people at the competition scene, it was not convenient to kill Qin Mo in the woods. Qin Mo would definitely die. As soon as Team Li Ren entered the woods, Qin Mo disappeared before their eyes. Following a loud sound, Qin Mo appeared before everyone. Seeing this, Deep Vu Lam revealed an evil smile. "Stop pretending." The members of the Loi Nan team heard the order and went up together. Today, Qin Mo must die. At this time, Qin Mo indifferently watched everyone attack and calmly said that they did not know their limits. At this moment, a series of loud noises rang out. More than 10 members of the Li Ren team immediately let out cries of grief and fell to the ground from all directions. In Qin Mo's eyes, the group of people were just a bunch of dancing clowns. They couldn't possibly cause much trouble. Deep Vu Lam saw Qin Mo almost instantly. Injuring 20 people had opened his spirit acupoints. His pupils couldn't help but wrinkle, his heart was shocked. But he said arrogantly, "As the captain of the Loi Nan, I will not be weak like them." Yen Yang Jun's body technique was extremely powerful. After he finished speaking, a beam of energy instantly condensed in his palm. If Qin Mo was hit by this palm strike, even if he didn't die, he would still be seriously injured. Just as this terrifying energy suddenly struck out, Qin Mo instantly appeared below. Following a sudden cry, Deep Vu Lam immediately received a punch from Qin Mo. Qin Mo saw this and grabbed Deep Vu Lam's neck. Deep Vu Lam was momentarily flustered. "Qin Mo, do you want to kill me?" Qin Mo coldly smiled, "Just now you abused True Quinn, now I will do the same to you." At this moment, Commander Xiao saw his sharp-tongued captain being captured by Qin Mo. He immediately yelled at Qin Mo, "Qin Mo, this is your Yin Yang Lang's victory. Don't do anything too outrageous." Hearing that, Qin Mo lifted Yi Yulan into the air with one hand and said, "Sorry, he just crippled Zhao Chang. When Langya was seriously injured, did you ever go out to stop it?" Seeing that Qin Mo had no intention of stopping, Commander Tu begged Lu Weijian for help. Lu Weijian replied, "In war, do you expect the enemy to be kind to you?" Moreover, the rule of unlimited death matches was requested by Deep Vu Lam. Changing orders early and changing them late is a taboo in military circles. Hearing this, Yi Wulan's older brother, Yi Tuchon, frowned. If it weren't for General Lu Weijian coming, he would have definitely attacked Qin Mo today. If in this situation, he helped Li Ren, he was afraid that his rank would be affected. At this moment, Deep Vu Lam was grabbed by the neck by Qin Mo and beaten until she couldn't breathe. The Langna team, which had been at the bottom for 10 years, now took first place under the leadership of Qin Mo. After the match ended, Marshal Lu learned that Qin Mo and the Qin family's Yin Yang had the same surname and couldn't help but express his feelings. Sure enough, no one from that family was not a demon. Even if he destroyed the Huaxia military region, it wouldn't be strange. Yi Tuchong looked at his younger brother Yi Yulan. Qin Mo had destroyed his Dantian. He felt regretful in his heart, once his Dantian's Qixi was destroyed. He was afraid he would never be able to practice martial arts again in this life. Then, secretly, he was determined to kill Qin Mo to avenge his younger brother. Lang Na team won first place at the top of the Chinese military. The Hua Hai youth who once shocked Yi Yen Yang's martial arts, had once again become the talk of the town. And the news of Yi Wulan being crippled quickly spread throughout the martial arts world. Seeing his younger brother crippled and his Dantian crippled, Yi Tuchong also felt deep self-blame. If he hadn't let Yi Yulan kill Qin Mo, it wouldn't have led to this situation today. Deep Tho Sung stroked his younger brother's head and softly comforted him, saying that he had come up with a strategy. In a few days, he would invite Uncle Lai to cripple him. At this time at Baiha Pharmaceutical, a phone call woke up Qin Mo who was resting. Director Sun's pleading voice came from the phone. "Mr. Qin Mo, the martial arts world is in danger, I have a patient who needs your help." But when Qin Mo saw the patient, he was stunned. It was a pregnant woman who had problems during childbirth. Moreover, her blood pressure was too high, there was no way to give birth. The Hong family had heard this and was so nervous that he burst into tears. Could it be that the incense of our Hong family is about to be lost in our hands? With that, Director Tun's eyes lit up. "Don't worry, I've invited an expert for you. He can help Mrs. Hong give birth smoothly." Master Hong was instantly angry when he saw Qin Mo. "Isn't this director's son just a brat? He can deliver my wife's baby? You're not joking, are you?" Director Tun immediately replied that human life was important, how could he dare joke? Qin Mo received Mrs. Hong's medical records and examined her pregnancy. He understood the basic situation in a flash. The fetus was in the wrong position and his hand was stuck. His body index was low and he couldn't stop the bleeding. He could handle this surgery himself. Qin Mo then used silver needles on Madame Hong's head. Waiting for the fetus to leave her body will help her treat her breathing. Director Sun thought to himself behind him. Madame Hong is really lucky to have met Mr. Qin. If it were me, if there was a mistake in the surgery of an adult or child, I would definitely offend Hongmen. At this time, everyone outside the operating room heard. It was Qin Mo who was inside helping them and then he was overjoyed. God bless our Hong family's descendants. The Hong clan master thought to himself. Hongmen is now the #1 family in the lower martial world. If they can make friends with Qin Mo, they can definitely take a step forward. They might even be able to squeeze into the middle martial world. With each cry of the baby, Mrs. Hong gave birth to a son and mother and child were safe. The Hong family was instantly moved to tears. The Hong family head wanted Qin Mo to be the adoptive father of his child. Qin Mo immediately rejected him when he thought of the child's hateful appearance. And it showed that this child also had a connection with him. He would often visit this child in the future. After finishing his work, Qin Mo also had to return to hold an introduction meeting for Bai Yuan and Shi Lu. After all, he had already crippled Yi Wulan, so the Yi family definitely wouldn't give up. In the dance association, Yi Tu Chong broke in. He told the vice president of the Martial Arts Association, Fu Yang, that his younger brother was crippled by Qin Mo. The Yi family had become a complete laughingstock in the martial arts world. At this time, Fo Duong calmly expressed that coming back here was not a bad thing. Your younger brother was crippled and my son was also killed. Right now, the entire Yin Yang knows that Qin Mo crippled Yi Yulan, not to mention her martial virtue. Therefore, it is only natural that the Yi family would lower themselves to avenge young Master Yi. Deep Tho Sung instantly understood Fo Duong's intention. He immediately expressed his intention to deliver the death warrant to the Deep family to Qin Mo. As long as Qin Mo stayed in DM Duong for a day, the Deep family would hunt him down for a day. He was originally the top assassin of the world's strongest assassin organization. Now he has become the most loyal generation of the assassination target. Qin Mo abolished Yi Yulan, the successor of the Yi family in the martial arts world. The Yi family directly ordered his assassination. In the Baiha pharmaceutical industry, Shi Lu continued to work at the pharmacy as usual. Suddenly a voice came from behind. The disciple of the 7 assassins of heaven, Shi Lu. Yet he humbled himself to work in a company under Qin Mo. What an unexpected event. I am the 4 generals of the Deep family, including Deep Lai, Deep Gon, Miam and Deep Min. Previously, the Yin family and the Deep family had defeated the country's meritorious official. The strongest force of the Deep family. Shi Lu felt something was wrong when he saw the bad guys appear. These people normally never showed themselves. Once they showed up, something big would happen. Su Lu looked at the 4 people behind him and said calmly. The 4 seniors came to the small shop, could it be that they wanted to get some medicinal herbs? Yi Ming took out the Yi family's murderous concubine in his hand, so don't pretend to be stupid like that. For the sake of the heavenly gate, we can give you a chance to leave Qin Mo. As soon as he finished speaking, a sudden explosion passed by Shi Lu's ears. The concubine of the Yi family was directly embedded into the wall. Today we came to deliver the concubine to Qin Mo. As long as you leave Qin Mo, you will be spared death. The strength of the 4 generals of the Yi family was each much stronger than that of Qigong. Qin Mo clearly had some inhuman strength when dealing with Qigong. Qin Mo had a favor to Shi Lu. He quickly found an excuse to say, Mr. Tan asked me to come and see the store. I won't go without his permission. At this moment, sharp blades cut through Su Lu's neck, piercing his heart. Immediately, fresh blood gushed out from his carotid artery and heart. Less than 10 minutes. Your blood is almost gone. Tell us where Qin Mo is. We will help you survive. Seeing that Su Lu did not say anything, a few people started searching the store. They did not even bother to make a move on someone like Su Lu. Facing 4 characters with such terrifying strength, Su Lo felt helpless. At this moment, he remembered what Qin Mo had said before. If a bad guy came to the pharmacy to cause trouble, press the alarm button to evacuate the crowd. Then press the self-destruct button. At that time, he had sworn that as long as Mr. Qin was here, no bad guy would dare to cause trouble. He didn't expect it to come in handy so quickly. Following a sudden explosion, a huge mushroom cloud appeared above the city. At this moment, Qin Mo happened to walk to the front door of the Baiha pharmacy and witnessed the explosion with his own eyes. Only Lu knew about the explosive device. He dared to press it. He must have encountered some extremely urgent matter. A bad premonition naturally arose in his heart. After opening his divine sense, he discovered a figure that looked like Lu. Qin Mo hurriedly lifted the giant rock, pressing on him. At this moment, Lu's face had completely changed after being blown up. Seeing Qin Mo, tears immediately flowed out of her eyes. Mr. Qin ran away. The Yi family's 4 generals killed me for you. Qin Mo didn't think that after he crippled Yi Yulan, he would cause great trouble for the people around him. Lu, stop talking, I can save you. I will transfer spiritual power to you. At this moment, Su Lu's eyes were filled with tears as she told him to stop trying. Every breath I took now was very painful and my body was burning. I only regret that I cannot serve you in Noyet Nin anymore. Not long after, Lu collapsed in front of Qin Mo, breathless. This was the first friend Qin Mo had lost since he started panicking. Qin Mo finally could not bear the pain in his heart. Tears instantly wet his cheeks. He swore to kill the Yi family's 4th general to avenge Lu. Qin Mo carried Lu out of the 100 Herbs pharmacy in a flash. The entire building collapsed into a pile of rubble. At this time, Bak Noyet Nin was on guard outside the line. Seeing Su Lo's appearance on Qin Mo's shoulder, she instantly cried out loud. Then the 2 buried Lu behind the mountain dormitory of Qingjing University. After experiencing this, Qin Mo also realized that something was wrong. If the Yi family only wanted to avenge the deposed Yi Yulan, they would just have to kill Qin Mo alone. But now the Yi family had caused such a huge commotion. Their purpose was not that simple. It might also be related to many forces in the martial arts world. Qin Mo then told Zhao Min to summon Hua Hai's elite disciples and people from the Yinyang military region to protect Baiyuan. As for the Yi family and the forces related to them, Qin Mo vowed to destroy them all. At this time, in the Yi family, after Yi Yulan learned that the Yi family's 4 generals killed Qin Mo's subordinates, she felt that it was still far from enough. At this moment, Yi Wulan's veins bulged and her face changed. She shouted loudly. Qin Mo turned me into a cripple. I want to kill everyone related to Qin Mo, then cripple Qin Mo and let him live his whole life in guilt and self-blame. Deep Vu Lam lay on the bed, painfully begging Deep Lai to help him. Deep Lai saw Deep Vu Lam grow up and naturally could not see him like this, so he agreed afterwards. At this moment, Yi Ming spoke from behind. Qin Mo recently delivered a baby for Hongmen in the lower martial world. He and Hongmen have a very close relationship. We will start from Hongmen. Deep Tho Sung said from the side. Leave the matter of destroying Hong Mon to me. Vu Lam is my younger brother after all. I won't bother you guys anymore. At this time, in the Hong family manor, to celebrate the Hong family, a special banquet was held to invite Qin Mo. The manor was peaceful. Occasionally, there was the sound of children crying. The sudden appearance of a person broke the atmosphere at the scene. Yi Tu Chong didn't care about the people around him stopping him and arrogantly barged in. It was so warm. The Hong family gathered to celebrate the newborn baby. The Hong family head saw this and stepped forward to block his path. May I ask what your intention is in entering the district without permission? Deep Tho Sung immediately replied that he came to the Hong family to ask for something. Finished speaking, he raised his hand. The person beside him almost instantly appeared in less than a second. I want to take your Hong family's life 73 times. Too much destructive power. Everyone immediately realized that this was a move of the martial arts realm. They quickly left the scene. Yi Tu Chon looked at the people running around him, who were getting more and more crazy. Today I will kill you. That day, if it wasn't in front of Lu Weijian, I wouldn't have been able to do it. Yi Wulan wouldn't have been crippled by Qin Mo. Not even a single person from the Hong family would have escaped. In his words, a pitiful plea filled the entire manor. Before long, Deep Tho Sung carefully counted 70 people. There were 4 more people left. The Hong family head immediately told his wife and father to leave quickly. He would handle it himself. As soon as he finished speaking, Deep Tu Sung immediately appeared in front of everyone. That cute little boy was the midwife Qin Mo. The Hong family head was extremely terrified. How did you know? Before he could finish speaking, Deep Tho Sung waved his hand. The Hong family head instantly spat out blood. How ironic. If it weren't for this child, your Hong family wouldn't have been exterminated today. Deep Tho Sung was filled with killing intent as he slowly walked towards the three people. A puff later, all 74 people of the Hong family were gone. Yi Tu-chon looked at the scene of blood flowing like a river in the Hong family manor and said with a smile, "Shin Mo, this is my gift to you and I hope you like it." At this time, Shin Mo followed the instructions and walked to the door of the Hong family manor. Looking at the quiet manor before him, he wondered. Wasn't the Hong family having a party today? How could it be so quiet? Suddenly, a strong smell of blood entered his nose. Shin Mo suddenly felt something was wrong. He quickly pushed the main door open. In the Hong family's mansion, blood flowed like rivers everywhere. On the ground was left an extremely satirical sentence. Written by Deep Tho Sung. Shin Mo looked at this miserable situation and his heart was filled with uncontrollable rage and deep shame. The Hong family of more than 70 people was exterminated because of Shin Mo alone. At this moment, Shin Mo's cell phone rang. The caller was Yi Tu-chon. "Shin Mo, if you want revenge, come to the Hong family's mansion in 3 days. The Yi family will wait there." "I'm afraid you don't have the courage, Shin Mo. We will end this matter." 5 hours later, Shin Mo silently buried the dead Hong family members. Then he swore before the graves of dozens of Hong family members. He would definitely destroy the Yi family to avenge them. He also buried the heads of the Yi family members with him. He went to the graves to pay respects to the dead Hong family members. Suddenly a voice from behind called Shin Mo back. "This old man finally waited for you. Before the old man died, he told me to definitely take the young master to find you." Hearing this, Shin Mo suddenly felt intense emotions. Hongman was not yet extinct. There was still a successor. Then he asked the old man what the child's name was. The old man said the child did not have a name yet. The family had originally planned to ask Mr. Tan to give him a name today. He did not expect something like this to happen. Shin Mo's eyes were filled with tears as he looked at the child in his arms. This person survived the extermination of his family with difficulty. In the future, he would definitely be as bright as the midday sun. From now on, he would be called Hong Zhongtian. The old man said Hong Trung Tian's name was very nice. But his aura was too strong, he was afraid this child wouldn't be able to handle it well. Shin Mo stopped and said, "I will treat him like my own brother. As long as I am here, I can take care of everything." In the dormitory 3 days later, Shin Mo sent people to protect Bai Yueran and his group. 1 man and 1 sword went to Hong family manor. This matter was caused by Shin Mo alone, so he will solve this matter. Not long after Shin Mo arrived at the Hong family, the Yi family members led by their martial artists gradually arrived at the scene. Yi Wulan sat in the wheelchair and did not forget to mock Shin Mo long time no see. "Shin Mo, my brother Yi Tu-chon specially asked me to come here this time." Enjoying the desperate look of Chief Instructor Qin. Xianwen and Zhao Zhan were also Zhongwu people. The two of them looked at Shin Mo's appearance and couldn't help but sigh. Did the Yi family unite Zhongwu families specifically just to kill him? The Yi family then said that whoever could take Shin Mo's head could share the 7 divine weapons technique on Shin Mo with the Yi family. As soon as these words were spoken, the scene immediately became chaotic. Everyone was fighting to kill Shin Mo. The 7 martial divine technique was seized. Seeing this, Deep Vu Lam's words became even more insane. The 74 people of the Hong family were all done by my brother. The Hong clan people were like dogs with their own teeth, emitting waves of sorrow. "Shin Mo, are you angry? If you have the ability, then come kill me." At this moment, Shin Mo's anger was completely burned out. The dragon cold sword entered the battle. A dragon's roar rang out. The dragon cold sword was held in Shin Mo's hand. It drew phantom images in the air. The martial artist instantly recognized the dragon cold sword. They did not expect a young boy to have such a high-class weapon. Shin Mo's eyes were filled with killing intent. At this moment, his anger had reached its peak. Today, the Hong family's grave is also the burial place of you, Deep Vu Lam. You must all die. A loud bang of a mobile phone rang out very quickly. Shin Mo suddenly charged towards Yi Yulan. Seeing this, Deep Vu Lam immediately ordered Tian Van and Trutram to quickly kill Shin Mo. Shin Mo indifferently looked at the 2 people following closely behind and calmly said, "I only want to kill people from the Yi family. As for the others, get lost." With that, the 2 of them used extreme speed to get behind Shin Mo. Following that, 2 loud bangs rang out. Shin Mo's sturdy back was slashed by the 2 of them. A second later, he appeared in front of Shin Mo. Seeing this, Deep Vu Lam immediately revealed a smug smile. At this moment, Shin Mo knew that he wanted to break through the siege of the person at the peak of the intermediate martial arts level. Of course, using only spiritual power to support him would not work. Shin Mo thought to himself that he could only use that move. As the spiritual power in Qin Mo's body began to burn, the spiritual power beside him began to activate. The spiritual power after burning converged on the dragon cold sword. Today, the Yi family must die. The sword energy of the red light headed towards the two people. With a loud bang, the two people were instantly repelled by this terrifying sword energy. Xianwen and Zhao Zhan were also extremely surprised. They didn't expect that Qin Mo, who had been injured so badly just now, could still use such a powerful move. This person would definitely be a disaster. While the two were fighting back, Qin Mo immediately attacked Deep Vu Lam to take his life. A second later, Qin Mo appeared in front of Yi Yulan. Yi Yulan was so scared that her whole body trembled. Qin Mo, what do you want to do? Qin Mo, you looked at Yi Yulan with murderous intent. I should have killed you back at the dragon platform base. At this moment, Yi Yulan was a little scared. Qin Mo, you can't kill me. I can beg my brother to spare you. The Yi family can give you a way to live. Qin Mo looked at Deep Vu Lam and smiled faintly, then said, Can the Deep family release me? A second later, Qin Mo's cold dragon sword went straight to Yi Wulan's neck. Now, it's up to you, Yi family, to think carefully about how to make Qin Mo let you go. Deep Vu Lam shouted. Uncle Lai, please save me. Deep Lai saw Qin Mo treating his nephew like this. His angry face instantly turned pale. Don't be afraid, Vunhi. He wouldn't dare kill you. As soon as he finished speaking, a sword intent passed over Deep Vu Lam's head. His head was severed and blood flowed from his neck. The scene immediately turned deadly. Everyone did not think that Qin Mo would actually kill Yi Yulan. If he was not so afraid of the Yi family's revenge, then he would not have considered the intermediate martial artists here as anything. Deep Lai saw the family order the people of the Deep family to go forward to defend young Master Deep. At this moment, Qin Mo was already tired and panting. He had just been severely injured by two intermediate martial artists. Now, the spiritual energy in his body was burning like fire. If he fought them, his chances of winning were not high. At this moment, a sound followed each flower petal and struck towards the Deep family. The spiritual energy around Deep Lai instantly turned into flower petals. The Yi family is really bold. The current eldest daughter of Fong Yulu, Deng Zire, protected Qin Mo behind her. You guys, the talented people of Fong Yulu, dare to touch them. Fong Noyet Lao is the leading force of DM Duong, not belonging to any low or middle level in the martial world. Furthermore, it does not participate in the competition of DM Duong martial arts. Except for the first post about Fong Noyet Lao more than 20 years ago, when the Qin family's young master escaped from DM Duong, Fong Noyet Lao has always maintained a neutral position. Fortunately, Qin Mo had prepared last night. Told them that there was a new song. To go to Hongjia Manor today to get it. Deep Lai looked at Deng Tai Nhi and said. Aren't you guys from Fong Noyet Lao also involved in DM Duong martial arts? We don't interfere. But now Mr. Tan is the head of our Fong Yulu. Last night, he told me he wrote a new song. He specifically told me to come to the Hong Manor to pick him up today. Mr. Deep, my artist just debuted. If I have offended you, please forgive me. Seeing this, Deep Lai could only smile bitterly and say, Then I, Deep, will ask for your guidance another day. After that, Deng Tai Nhi took Qin Mo and left the scene. Qin Mo turned his head and said to Yi Lai, Please bring this head back to Yi Tu Chong. Let him wash his neck and wait for me to take his life. In front of everyone in the martial arts world, Qin Mo was asked to leave. Fong Yulu was a top-notch force from Yenyang. Yi Lai did not dare to act rashly. He could only watch Qin Mo leave without being able to do anything. Not long after, in the Deep family home, the head of the Deep family heard the news that his son was killed and was instantly angry to the point of trembling. Who is Qin Mo? How dare he kill my son? Then he ordered people to guard the main gate to Fengyu Tower. Once Qin Mo stepped out of Fengyu Tower, he would immediately kill him. At this time in Fong Noyet Lao, Qin Mo had burned his spiritual power before and randomly broke through to the peak of the valley. Therefore, he asked Deng Tai Nhi if he had a chance to destroy the Deep family. Deng Tai Nhi said the opportunity is very big. DM Duong's peak martial arts strength can represent China, the highest martial arts is the standard. Since ancient times, Yin-Yang martial arts has been divided into three great worlds: elementary martial arts, intermediate martial arts, and advanced martial arts. Although the three great worlds are all in Yin-Yang, the difference in strength leads to different statuses. It can be interpreted that two intermediate martial artists can destroy all intermediate martial artists. It is also like that for high martial artists to suppress intermediate martial artists in the world. In other words, only those who have reached high martial artists have the qualifications to oppose intermediate martial artists. If you want to enter the martial arts world, you must participate in the Zhou Shin trial. Qin Mo asked how one can participate in the Zhou Shin trial. Dung Tai Nhi expressed that at Fong Noyet Lao, as long as one is praised by the Lao Chu, that person will have the opportunity to be recommended by the Lao Chu to Chaodan Palace to participate in Chaodan trial. But in recent years, the health of the palace master has not been very good. Recently, he has suffered from anorexia. Currently, he basically does not see many people. Just then, someone came to report from outside the door. There were several suspicious-looking people still lining up outside the Wind Moon Tower. Some were old, some were young, their faces were full of anger. Qin Mo heard that he was a member of the Yi family. At this time, Qin Mo had adjusted his condition well. He had successfully broken through to the peak of grain accumulation. Therefore, Qin Mo decided to go out and meet the Yi family for a while. Outside Fong Noyet Lao, Deep Tho Sung and the 4 generals of the Deep family tightly held the main door and shouted, "Qin Mo, come out here. What's so good about hiding in the alley of a brothel?" At this moment, the main door of Fong Noyet Lao suddenly opened. Qin Mo stood alone in front of the door and said, "Deep Tho Sung, don't call me anymore, I'm here to take your life." As Qin Mo finished speaking, spiritual power around his body began to interfere. His eyes began to become sharp. In a flash, Qin Mo appeared 1 meter away from Yi Tu Chong. Several people clearly felt that Qin Mo's speed was much faster than before. A second later, Qin Mo jumped up again. His eyes were filled with killing intent as he charged towards Yi Tu Chong. According to Qin Mo, using the 7 divine weapons technique, a fierce light emitted from his eyes. A ray of light like a stream of energy passed through Yi Tu Chang's arm. Along with Yi Tu Chang's miserable scream, the arm was immediately cut off. Seeing that the martial art was so powerful, Yi Ying told Yi Lai to retreat. Yi Lai pointed out that Qin Mo had such a cultivation level. Using this move would definitely damage his vitality. As long as the 4 marshals joined forces to attack, they would definitely be able to kill him. Having finished speaking, several people simultaneously shouted loudly and set up their formation. The 4 seasons 4 leaves formation is a unique technique that can only be activated by the 4 generals of the Yi family working together. The formation complements each other as they move. The flow of the 4 seasons is vaguely determined. At this moment, Qin Mo had already used up all of his previous divine projection. His eyes were already slow, flowing out bright red blood that could no longer be resisted. Seeing Qin Mo tired, the mortals took the opportunity to join forces and attack Qin Mo. Deep Lai laughed loudly with a smug expression. "What can a person like Qin Mo use to fight us?" After saying that, Qin Mo's body underwent a huge change. His divine consciousness shone with cold light. This was Qin Mo's last trump card. He wanted to kill me with just a few dry, rotten leaves. A second later, streaks of sword energy suddenly appeared in the air, forming a spiral path towards the 4 people. Wherever the sword energy passed, the timelines on the ground were all crippled limbs. Seeing this, Deep Lai hurriedly pulled a companion beside him and quickly escaped. What they didn't expect was that Qin Mo, in such a weakened state, could still release such a terrifying attack. After this battle, Qin Mo was completely weakened and knelt on the ground. The remaining martial artists saw this and immediately revealed an evil smile. Qin Mo had the 7 martial divine technique in his hand, so take it away while Qin Mo was still weak. Before he finished speaking, the people from Fong Noyet Lao immediately pulled Qin Mo back. After Qin Mo woke up, he first went to the Hong family's tombstone. "Uncle Hong, I said I would kill your enemies for you. I will bring your enemies' faces to worship you. I have done it, so please rest in peace." The next day, Qin Mo, in order to approach the palace master, took the initiative to go to the kitchen to apply for a chef position. Hearing that Qin Mo wanted to come and be a chef, the head chef on the spot slowed down. Because the head chef would be in trouble if a stranger came in. However, Qin Mo was now the celebrity of Feng Yulu. Naturally, he cannot offend him. Afterwards, he expressed that he very much welcomes Qin Mo to join. But to enter the dining room, one must pass a lot of tests. So Qin Mo was told to go to the kitchen to practice first. Next month, if he passed the test, he would be sent to the kitchen. Qin Mo happily agreed upon hearing this. When Qin Mo left, his expression instantly changed. He didn't want Qin Mo to stay at all. Letting Qin Mo go to the kitchen to practice was just his delaying tactic. In the scullery room, Qin Mo met a student named Taihua, also from Huahainan City. This person looked pale and thin, as if he had been depressed for a long time. During the conversation, he learned that his family was poor. He had worked hard to gather 100,000 yuan for his master to give as student fees. He thought that he could learn a profession in the future to support himself. But it's been 5 years and I have to wash 3,000 dishes here every day. The rest of the people don't learn anything. Moreover, my monthly salary is 2,000 dong. Of that, 1,500 has to be used to show respect to my master. But in Tai Ho's eyes, he felt that being able to survive was already very satisfying. There was nothing to complain about. Afterwards, Chef Tai stole food to treat Chin Mo. At this moment, footsteps came from outside the door. The two quickly hid in the cupboard. When the door opened, Chef Li and his apprentice saw the steaming hot pot. They thought that some chef was afraid that they would be hungry and had prepared a late-night snack. The two of them sat down to eat and chat. Still Master Min. Arrange disciples in the kitchen and do not need to teach anything. Moreover, every month, Fong Noyet Lao receives 6,000 dong of his salary. Not only does he cut 4,000 dong, but he also tells them to spend 5,000 dong each month to respect him. After saying that, Tai Ho was immediately made to vomit by the two people's conversation. He never thought that the master he once respected would be such a person. A second later, Chin Mo directly invited the two of them to eat spicy pig head meat. The next day, Chef Li heard about Chin Mo's evil deeds and sent it to Deng Zier. Master Li was an international chef invited by Fong Yulu, so he was highly regarded. Therefore, Chin Mo set up a table in front of the chefs tomorrow and personally apologized to Chef Li. Chin Mo saw this and could only reluctantly agree. Bai Su Shui on the side also saw Chin Mo's compromising appearance for the first time. Then he asked in a low voice if we had heard about yesterday. Do you really want to apologize to that head chef? Chin Mo said of course not. So Chin Mo told Su Shui his thoughts. Moreover, he had to ask her for help. At this time, the door of Fong Noyet Lao was outside. The head of the Deep family told the two of them to guard Chin Mo for 24 hours. When Fong Noyet Lao came out, they would kill him at all costs. At this moment, the sound of an argument between Tetuet and Chin Mo appeared at the door of Fong Noyet Lao, attracting the attention of the two people. Chin Mo, you scum, aren't you bored of eating at Fong Noyet Lao every day? Come out and eat with me, you promised. I'm not going. If you want to go, you go by yourself. My wound hasn't healed yet, moreover it's not safe outside. Seeing this, the two people immediately walked forward with charming expressions. Miss, if you can tell us the news Chin Mo just told us, this card is for you. It has 5 million in it and the password is 6 zeros. The two looked at each other and thought to themselves, based on the scene just now, Bai Su Shui must have been hurt by Chin Mo, perhaps there is a grudge. The temptation of money combined with hatred for Chin Mo, she might sell us information. Bak Tetuet directly took the bank card. Turned to the two people and cried. Chin Mo was completely infatuated with head chef Li, who was cooking in the Fongyu dining room. He said that in his entire life, except for the food he cooked, he would never eat anyone else's food. As for how long head chef Li had been at Fongyu building, how long had he been at Fongyu building? The next day, the head chef Li just stepped out of Fong Noyet Lao. Immediately, a group of people appeared and surrounded him. A second later, he was forcibly pulled into a truck and quickly left the scene. Compared to the time in the Yufeng kitchen, the others waited for Chief Chef Li to appear. Then let Chin Mo kneel down and give him 2 pats. At that time, after Chin Mo kneels down, take a photo. After spreading it, it will definitely suppress his spirit. 2 hours passed, and that day, there was no sign of head chef Zhang Ly. Chin Mo stood up and calmly said, "Don't wait for him anymore. I apologize to him in front of everyone today. I have fulfilled my promise to Sister Tyre." Then he sprinkled the wine in the glass on the ground and cried to everyone. "Chef Li, I, Chin Mo, am not worthy of you." Chef Li's apprentice, Chef Wang, silently swore to himself. When his master returns, he must kneel before his master and apologize to him, Chin Mo. But half a month had passed. Chef Li was nowhere to be seen. After he disappeared, no one could recreate the flavors that the Lord wanted to eat. The castle master had not eaten for 8 or 9 days. After that, she was forced to choose her disciple, the king chef, to replace him. Hearing this, Chin Mo immediately stood up and said, "Sister Zaire, I, Chin Mo, can also cook. So let me be the head chef." "Sister Zaire, don't you believe what I say? You can let me have a competition with the king of chefs." Chef Wang immediately agreed when he heard that. But he said that if Chin Mo lost, he would immediately leave Fong Yulu and let the Yi family kill him. In his eyes, Chin Mo naturally did not dare to accept his request. After all, if Chin Mo lost for a day, he would be kicked out of Fong Yulu. Without Rong Zaire's protection, the Yi family would naturally not let him go. Deng Tiny's expression became serious again. "Chin Mo, are you sure you want to compete?" Chin Mo said with a straight face that he was fine. Just follow Chef Wang's instructions. At this time, everyone thought Chin Mo was a musician. He also dreamed of competing with Chef Wang, who had been holding a spoon for decades. In the eyes of the chefs, Chin Mo was like a dancing clown. The eldest daughter gave an order, and the dining room smelled of smoke and oil. In a flash, it turned into a stage for 2 people to compete. Chef Wang is also a famous figure in China. For many years no one dared to doubt his cooking skills like this. Pretty Tan, I think you are a newbie. The theme of today's competition is up to you. Hearing this, Qin Imo calmly replied that I was the one who initiated the challenge. Chef Wang would decide what to choose. The result would be the same anyway. Chef Wang is not as good at cooking as Chef Li, but he is still the best at having someone so arrogant in front of him. If Mr. Qin wants me to decide, then we will make the simplest stir-fried potato strips. Stir-fried shredded Western food seems simple, but because of its simplicity. Wanting to stir-fry your own specialty to create a great flavor is also very difficult. Qin Mo took advantage of his hobby to challenge Chef Wang. It was definitely like throwing an egg at a rock. Just peeling a simple potato can see the foundation of a chef. The basic knowledge of a chef is very solid. Even in today's many Chinese chefs, it is very difficult to find. On the other hand, Qin Mo and Wang Dezhu formed a clear opposition. Even carelessly cut their fingers. Deng Tianhi couldn't help but start to worry when she saw this. No matter what the outcome was, Qin Mo might have lost. But at this moment, Qin Mo suddenly placed the potatoes on the cutting board. He did not make any move to peel them. The chefs all saw this scene. It made them mock Qin Mo. This kind of outsider really didn't enter their eyes. Just as everyone was laughing, the chef noticed. Qin Mo had already peeled the potato when he cut it. Moreover, each potato strand was connected to the other, seemingly separate yet not separate. The texture of the potato strand was like hemp. Chef Wang gradually stopped what he was doing. He instantly looked at Qin Mo in a daze. He was completely terrified. Another chef stuttered, I heard a legend. A senior could cut 3 different colored potato strips using one potato. One potato can produce 3 flavors and colors. The dish is called Tam Thursday by Not Noyet. When this dish was baked, everyone here was shocked and opened their mouths wide, speechless. Chef Wang beside him completely stopped. Although he did not believe this was true in his heart, the chopsticks in his hand unconsciously picked up Qin Mo's stir-fried potato strips. After eating once, his expression instantly froze for a few seconds. The taste is just like when I was a child. Like the taste of my mother, lingering around me. Chef Wang silently put down his chopsticks. You don't need to try anymore, I lost. Deng Tianhi didn't have time to comment after tasting it. She quickly went to get a bowl of rice to eat because this dish was so delicious. Qin Mo wished to become the head chef of Fong Yu Dining Hall. Rong Zire then told Qin Mo that she still wanted to eat French fries tonight. Could he come to her room and teach her? After becoming a successful chef, the next step is to see how to approach the host. So Qin Mo agreed. 2 days later, Qin Mo created a new and unique dish. Tonight at the elegant conference, whether or not he could gain the trust of the palace lord would depend on how delicious this dish was. At night, red lanterns decorate the entire Fong Noyet Lao. Fong Noyet Lao is known as the gathering place of the most famous people in DM Duong. The Zhongwu family, the Zhoushan family, and even the great martial arts hermit families. They will all think of ways to go to Fong Yue Tower today. The child before his eyes was a descendant of Qin Yinan's brother, by Pazi. When Qin Yinan was young, he often came to Fong Yulu with his brothers to enjoy music. Xu Xiaosong also inherited his father's fine tradition. Seeing the beautiful girl, he raised his hand. The old man beside him was also a famous figure in the martial arts world. He was known as the #1 swordsman in martial arts. He was now Xu Xiaosong's primary teacher. Miss Mo Deng, I'm sorry. I'll take Xiaosong first, you stay and have fun. Just then, the boss slowly walked in. That year, the Yenyang Fengyue Tower. One person was the world-famous Liao Shueluo. The other was the peerless dancer Mayu, lightly held by Fei Yen. 20 years ago, these two were the existences known as the Fengyue Fairies. Unfortunately, now only Mayu remains. The moment my VU appeared, everyone quickly bowed their heads. They all bowed respectfully towards my VU. Even Morong Wan and Wei Lui, both of them, bowed their heads slightly. For the owner of Fong Noyet Lao, even the martial artists of DM Duong would not want to provoke him. The juniors of Chowthan family naturally did not dare to be slow. After receiving the guests, my VU returned to the dining room. At this moment, she was facing these dishes. Every day she was not interested. At this moment, there was a knock on the door. Shinimo carried the golden sage that he had personally made into my VU's room. Deng Zire was suddenly shocked when he saw this. Even the previous head chef did not dare to bring food to my VU because every time he encountered my VU, Deng Zire carefully looked at my VU. My VU, the castle owner, smelled the scent of the holy grate. He instantly frowned and said he didn't want to eat it. Bring it out immediately. Deng Tire didn't want the palace master to miss the opportunity to eat Qin Mo's food. The chef immediately said that this was the chef of Fong Noyet Lao. The taste of the food was even better than the previous chef's. Palace Master, please try it. Hearing that, my VU frowned even tighter and said, I'm not interested in food. Get out now. My VU has already said this. If Chinemo were to advise her again, he would be an asshole. Chinemo then gently placed the Holy One on the tea table. Master, I will leave the Holy One here. Whether you want to eat it or not is up to you, I will go now. But at this moment, the people in the hall held the golden sacred cake in their hands and ate it until they forgot everything. My God, how could there be such a delicious dessert in this world? It smells so good. My VU saw everyone in the hall going crazy like that. He slowly looked towards the golden saint placed beside him. Could it really be that delicious? So he adopted a try-it-and-see attitude and tasted it. Dung Xier saw such a scene, even her eyes turned red. The castle master still relied on nutritional liquid to maintain his body's functions. The dessert had broken the rules of many years. Just as Chinemo was about to leave, my VU immediately pulled him back. Chinemo turned around and saw my VU eating the whole golden saint. He looked at Chinemo with a fascinated face and asked for another glass. Seeing that the Lord liked it so much, Dung Xier secretly wiped away her tears. In recent years, the thing she worried about the most was that the Lord would not only eat but also ask for another cup. The heart that had been saying for many years finally let go. The castle lord stroked Chinmo's chin and said, Your name is Chinemo, you look a lot like that person. Especially the shy look in his eyes, it's exactly like him. I thought I would never see them again in this life. I didn't expect to see you again. From now on, I will leave my meals to Mr. Tan to cook himself. Chinemo then nodded. He had thought that he had gotten closer to the Lord of the Wind Moon Tower. Being able to obtain the qualification to test the Joe God was already a great surprise. Now it seemed that the Lord of the Tower should know more about his parents when they were alive. At this moment, Truck Tu Song noticed the person upstairs. Brother Ui Try, what are you doing upstairs? Why aren't you coming down to eat? Wei Chi Ling Tian was also surprised to see Chinemo. Why was Chinemo here? Wasn't he being chased by a martial artist? Hearing that this person was Chinemo, Zhu Xiaosong opened her eyes wide in shock. He was the good brother Chinemo that her father had talked about. Fong you will end well. Zhu Xiaosong ran towards Chinemo. Brother, I finally found you. Chinemo also saw this child for the first time. Little friend, you must have mistaken the child, right? Zhu Xiaosong pointed at Chinemo and smiled. You're right, he's my brother. His father is Qin Yanan, and he and my father were sworn brothers. My father told me the night before he left the Zhu family. If I ever meet someone named Chinemo in the future, he's my brother. We need to help each other. But Chinemo had no idea what the boy was talking about. Then he asked where the boy's father was now? Xiaosong said his father wanted to go out and avenge Uncle Qin, so he hasn't come back for many years. Many people say he won't come back. Can you wait for him with me? Hearing this, Chinemo let out a sigh of relief. It seemed that he could not wait for his father with the boy. After all, he did not know anything about his father. For the time being, he did not know whether what the child said was true or false. Seeing this, Truck Tu Song's face was filled with sadness. Tears were forever swirling in her eyes. Brother Tan, if you change your mind in the future, come to the Truck family's house to find Truck Tu Song. The next day, Chinemo was in the Fengyue Tower. There was a painting here that made Chinemo stop. A feeling of familiarity resounded in his heart. My VU said from behind. She was once the person with the most wonderful voice in the past 100 years of Fong Noyet Lao. She was the most famous singer of Fong Noyet Lao. If she were still alive, she would be sitting in the position of the owner of Fong Noyet Lao today. Her name is Thuyet Latko and she is the only best friend in my Vu's life. And her eyes and Chinmo's are exactly the same. Although Chinmo's heart trembled a little, his face remained calm as water. Then he calmly apologized. I don't understand what the palace lord is saying. I came to find the palace lord to ask how I could obtain the qualification to participate in the Zhoushan trial. My VU didn't care and smiled, saying, It's fine, you're an adult now. As long as you enter the Chaodan temple, you will get the truth you want. My VU then took out a photo and gave it to Chinemo. The girl in this photo is a test for you. If you can safely bring her back to Fengyue Tower, you can qualify for this year's Zhoushan trial. Then my VU smiled at Chinemo and said from now on, call me Aunt Mai. Hearing that, Chinemo immediately thanked the palace master for being too polite. Scene change 5 days later in Tokyo. Aunt Mai said Ha Thursday is the head dancer of Fong Noyet Lao, last month went to perform. Because of her beautiful appearance, she was captured by the forces of the Quak Ninja sect. Chinemo based on several days of investigation. The Xia Ninja sect in Fugwei is a top force. Wanting to infiltrate and take out Xiaoshu is no different than snatching food from a tiger's mouth. It is best to contact the ninja sect first. The Jiaxiaren sect is one level lower. At this moment, a man in yellow appeared in front of Qin Mo. The badge on his chest caught Qin Mo's attention. This was the unique badge of the Jiaxiaren sect. The person on the other end of the line was raising his voice. No matter what, the Chinese want to bring that fate master here. Qin Mo secretly thought that it seemed that the then Hanan faction and the Wei Hanan faction were opposing factions. Qin Mo then walked up to the man. Sir, I see that your brow is black. I'm afraid you'll get bloody hands. The man was worried that he couldn't find a fortune teller. A second later, he directly took Qin Mo into the car. Big brother, this kid doesn't look like a fortune teller. Master Xianbei still hasn't found it, so let him try. If not, release it into Tokyo Bay to feed the fish. Scene changes to a teenager waving his hand. Half of the snow mountain instantly melted away. The match between the Jiaxia Ninja and Yixia Ninja sects is about to begin. The master of the then Hanan sect was not present. Jia Deng could only let Qin Mo temporarily replace him. Yamazaki, master of the Weigai ninja style. Looking at Qin Mo's appearance, he revealed a calm expression and said, "You are from China, right? You dare to call yourself a destiny master with your three-legged cat skills. You are truly trash in front of Fugua." Qin Mo looked at Yamazaki with disdain. Fortune-telling originated in China. If it weren't for Chinese, you wouldn't be able to write until today. Yamazaki no longer had the strength to argue back and quickly criticized Kato. The Kagaminine sect. A fortune teller? Did he randomly find a Chinese exchange student to replace him? Qin Mo saw this and stepped forward to say to Mr. Yamazaki. Whether there are enough troops or not, we will know just by trying. Yamazaki heard that and immediately said. If you are not convinced, I will show you a little. If you lose, you will be tied up and thrown into Tokyo Bay to die. With that, Yamazaki waved his sleeve. The candle in front of him was immediately lit. The scene was suddenly filled with a storm. Everyone here was terrified. In Quak, there was someone who could create such a scene. There was only Mr. Yamazaki. When Yamazaki waved his sleeve again, the storm scene stopped. Son, you won't be stunned, right? Qin Mo quickly put away his fear. He showed that he could do this move too. These words came from the mouth of a Chinese youth in his 20s. Immediately, it was scolded by the audience. The Fu kingdom that could reach this level was only a handful. Who are you, Chinese brat, to dare to say such a thing? Yamazaki looked at Qin Mo indifferently. Then say that, then show me your moves, young man of China. Let me see what kind of moves you trashy Chinese geniuses can use. When he was in the wilderness, Grandpa Long taught Qin Mo this move. It's just that he hasn't used it for a long time, so he doesn't know what the success rate is. At this moment, Qin Mo raised his hand and a beam of spiritual energy suddenly shot out. It headed straight towards Mount Fuji in the distance. Yamazaki looked at the scene and laughed hysterically. The Chinese are indeed trash. Pretending to be gods and ghosts. Before he finished speaking, a loud scream rang out from the scene. Snow was moving on Mount Fuji a few thousand meters away. Qin Mo just waved his hand and the snow melted. This power can only be achieved by a great master of destiny. Currently in Quak, there is only one person who can be called a great master of destiny. That person comes from a faraway land. The ancestor of Feng Shui for Quak is also a master. Yamazaki saw this and cried out loudly. I didn't know that the great master of destiny had come here. I, the junior, am guilty of clumsy eyes and deserve to die 10,000 times over. Here, the provincial governor directly appointed Qin Mo as the Jiaxia Heavenly Mandate Grand Master. He became an honored guest of the Shenxiaren sect. At this moment, Qin Mo gave two conditions. No one is allowed to wave their hands in front of me. Second, if there is anyone in the bamboo who dares to disrespect China, I will kill them anytime and anyone. Kato heard that and said no problem. From now on, our Jiaxia ninja sect will definitely respect Huaxia. At night, the Jiaxiaren sect welcomed Qin Mo. We have arranged a special reception for him. While chatting, Kato said there was a treasure in the Jiaxia sect. It was the evil sword of one of the two great swords of the Fu kingdom. Qin Mo said I know all these things. I can look them up on Baidu anyway. Kato of course didn't know what he used to make it. Whether it was his evil sword or Xiaozin's spring sword. They were all forged from a single piece of alchemy stone. Hearing about the alchemy stone, Qin Mo was suddenly surprised. This type of stone was only produced in China. But because it was rare in the world, there were only 3 pieces left. The piece was kept in the National Museum of China. One piece was in the hands of the Yin Yang martial arts family. The other piece had not been found yet. Unexpectedly, it ended up in Fugwa. Today, the Longhan sword just happened to have a breakthrough. The metal refining stone just happened to be the important treasure that increased the Longhan sword's grade. At this moment, the corner of Qin Mo's mouth revealed a faint smile. Fugwa stole our Hua Xia's treasures. It's time for you to return them. I will use them to upgrade the Longhan sword. The next day, Qin Mo asked the merchant to find out the data of the evil sword. Based on its appearance, he carved a sword identical to the one that came out. That night, Qin Mo went to the front door of the sword restoration pavilion. He heard them talking on the side and learned that there would be a great heavenly ninja ceremony in a few days. Moreover, they invited Qin Mo here precisely to complete this heavenly ninja ceremony. After finishing, they would tie Qin Mo up and throw him into Tokyo Bay to feed the fish. Qin Mo also had a helpless expression. Why was he being targeted everywhere he went? A purple smoke spread out from Qin Mo's hand. It slowly flew towards the two people on duty. Not long after, both of them fell to the ground. Qin Mo entered the sword-raising pavilion and walked in front of CSI. Looking at the length of the sword, then looking at the copy in his hand. The length difference was too great. Could it be that the merchant was setting a trap for me? Qin Mo also did not know how long the two people outside the door could be unconscious. He could only stab this knife in. After all, it would not be visible even if it was stabbed in. Just at this moment, a series of cries for help suddenly came from behind. This inevitably startled Qin Mo behind. Then he found a strange book under the desk. The other books were covered with dust. Only this one was very clean. Qin Mo picked up the book and saw that it was tied with a rope. After a while, the sound of the main door opening and the cries for help became louder. Qin Mo heard the person asking for help speaking Mandarin. He quickly went down to check. Below was only a group of people in tattered clothes. And they were locked up in the same prison. Saw Qin Mo in a flash, continuously waved his hands and begged him to let them go out. From their mouths, we know that they are all Chinese people who were tricked. They came to Fugwa to work. Now their daily food is gone. That is why the Jiaxian sect did not kill them. It is to use living people to sacrifice to heaven in the great ceremony of heaven and earth. Hearing this, Qin Mo instantly became so angry that his face turned blue. He didn't expect that the Shen Xiaoren sect were all beasts. However, now was not the time to kill those beasts. Wait until Xiaoshu was saved and then destroy both factions. Then Qin Mo took out Xiaoshu's photo and showed it to them. Do you see this girl? She is also Chinese. The woman immediately recognized Xiaoshu at a glance. Because she was Xiaoshu's assistant. The woman said that Xiaoshu was locked up in the shinobi sect. She was a dancer, and had to dance a piece in the shinobi great ceremony. Then she was sent to the heavenly sacrifice. At this moment, Qin Mo realized that the medicinal effects of the two people outside were about to wear off. Let them endure for a while longer. Then he would take them out of here. The people who heard that were instantly flustered. What made us believe that you would come back and save us? Qin Mo looked firmly at everyone. As a Chinese, I will never go back on my word. 2 hours later, a ninja came to report to SASI. Master Tan had been watching the sky for the night. He said that there was a major matter regarding the life and death of the Jiaxiaoren sect that needed his discussion. At this time, Qin Mo was in the room. Based on the information that Aunt Mai gave him, Qin Mo learned that Jiaxia and Yixia fought over the ownership of the ancestral martial arts legend. This resulted in heavy casualties on both sides. In the end, the two sect leaders reached a consensus. The martial arts legend belonged to the common ancestor of the two sects. To end this war, the Heavenly Ring, the Great Ceremony, is the great ceremony of the legendary martial ceremony. Currently, relying on Qin Mo alone, he definitely cannot deal with the two factions. He must cause conflict between the two factions. Just then, SASI led people in. Master Tan, please explain. Seeing him, Qin Mo still turned a blind eye and turned a deaf ear. The attendant beside him instantly became angry upon seeing Qin Mo's attitude. Master Qin wouldn't play with us, right? The Jiaxiaoren sect has stood firm in Fugwa for many years. How could it be destroyed? Qin Mo now revealed a mysterious expression. He slowly directed his attention to the governor behind him and softly said, "Speak softly. Your ancestors will appear." Qin Mo was so serious, of course he wouldn't lie to them. Then he bowed and said, "Master, don't blame my subordinates for being rude. Please advise." Qin Mo then slowly turned his back to everyone. Tomorrow night, pay attention to the ancestral temple. I can't say anything more to avoid revealing the secret of heaven. But if something goes wrong at the ancestral shrine tomorrow night, your Jiaxiaoren sect will die. Qin Mo is the only remaining master of destiny in Fugwa. What he said convinced Sai. Inside the ancestral temple the next day, a group of disciples from the Jiaxiaren sect all gathered in front of the ancestral statue. They all wanted to see this manifestation of their ancestors for themselves. At this moment, Qin Mo hid behind the statue and secretly rejoiced. Calm down, your ancestors are coming soon. A second later, the spiritual energy of the sky merged into the flashlight. The scene was suddenly filled with golden light as if the ancestors had personally arrived. Sai ordered everyone to kneel. Jayapanan sent all members to pay respects to Lord Tin Huin. Children do not know what crime they committed, hoping that their ancestors would explain it clearly. Finished speaking, Qin Mo used his spiritual energy to suddenly shout at the face of the awakened man. There is a statue of me worshipped in the Xia Ren temple. Don't you know? YGA is just a beastly ninja, how dare he place a statue of me and worship me? They are really bold. Tomorrow Waiha will kill and destroy my temple. I will destroy Jayapha's descendants. Hearing these words instantly made many people angry. There was a conflict with the Xia Ren sect. Today, Qin Mo said such words, the flames of war immediately flared up. Ta Tin angrily shouted at Lord Tin Huin to rest assured. Tomorrow I will lead my troops to Xia to completely destroy the Xia faction. The war has been successfully initiated. At that time, I can take advantage of the chaos to release the people imprisoned in Jiaxia. And go to EGA to get the Sound Spring Sword to bring the lower body out. The next day scene changes to Sai arriving at the Sword Temple. Sai takes the sword Sai and leads a group of soldiers to YGA. Sai sent all his forces to attack Xia. The dungeon was definitely unguarded now, but when Qin Mo came to the dungeon again, it would be a great ninja battle that would be recorded in history. Two great figures holding famous swords clashed. Qin Mo and Zhu Xiaosong hid in the bushes of the Xia ninja sect, because in less than 10 seconds, the Xia ninja sect would be in chaos. At this moment, a ninja came to report that the entire Jiaxia ninja sect would be dispatched to the ancestral temple of the Xia ninja sect at exactly 3 o'clock this afternoon. Longzhi felt uneasy after hearing this. The Waiha and Jayapha factions, because of their ancestral issues, had long since buried their grudges. Today, the Jayapanan faction, like the Great Northern Army, launched a large-scale campaign. Of course, they wanted to end it. After that, Long Trake immediately ordered all ninjas to be summoned to protect Waiha. If Jayapha dared to come, then let them come and never return. Not long after, there was not a single person in the YGA palace. Qin Mo took over the empty Xia Ren sect. He successfully replaced the sect's treasury in Quan sword with a peach sword. The two then went to Fushan to rescue the remaining Chinese. Qin Mo just left Long Zi and walked in. Long Zi also knew very well that the Jiaxia sect was really coming to kill. This would be the battle of the century. He had to take out Xiaozin's spring sword to be able to fight against them. It didn't take long for the two great ninjas to clash head-on. Both of them were figures representing an era of the Fu country ninja world. They were true great masters of the era in the Fu country ninja world. Longzhi, yesterday my Jiaxia ancestors showed their spirit to the Xia people, this bunch of dogs. I was so angry that the coffins of our ancestors were not properly pressed. Today, you, the immortal Xia, have failed my Jiaxia ancestors. As soon as he finished speaking, the scene exploded. The two people holding famous swords in their hands slowly raised them. These two swords were known as the strongest swords. It was just that they had never fought before, nor had they ever been ranked. Witnessing 100 years of sword fighting. What an honor. They were even more excited. After the fight. I'm afraid we won't be able to meet again until death. A second later, the two of them saw the evil sword and the Yin Spring sword being drawn out, both blurry. Time and air instantly became quiet. Only a flock of crows could be heard flying by, making a cawing sound. The two of them did not care what kind of sword this century was. Once finished, the fire horse would kill them directly. Less than half an hour. This bloody massacre caused heavy losses on both sides. The smell of blood filled the air, making people feel nauseous. At this moment, a Yiga ninja hurriedly ran over and handed the paper to Longzhi. Thank you for the swords of the two gentlemen. Today, 3 days later, we will meet Lord Sakai at the Battle of Tojama. The person who sent Qin Mo the evil spirit in Quan Chao simulated the making of Qin Mo. After hearing the identity of the sender, Longzhi also felt like his heart was being stabbed by a needle. His breathing was uncomfortable. He was momentarily angry. After spitting out blood, he took 2 steps back. Yiga ninja rushed to support Long Chach, then planned to join forces with the Jiaxia ninja of the Central Continent sect to kill Qin Mo. At this time, Qin Mo saved Xia Shu and the other Chinese people. Bao truck Tu Song. Led them along this small road of Fushan and someone will come to pick them up. In the natural action of Tojama after 2 days. The alchemy stone in Tasai in the underworld has been completely refined. Following a dragon's roar, the dragon cold sword emitted a dazzling silver-white light. It absorbed the increasingly brighter light of the metal refining water. It completely transformed into a dragon wind sword. From then on, the dragon cold sword successfully broke through. The moment Qin Mo held the dragon cold sword in his hand, a few images suddenly appeared in his mind. Flying high, the holy dragon covered the sky. This was the dragon cold sword's specialty. On this trip to Fu Quak, Qin Mo had completed the mission of Fong no Yet Lao. But the story was not over yet. Because Fu Quak had humiliated the Chinese people. Therefore, Qin Mo was determined to avenge this. The second day on Mount Tojama. The great ninja sacrifice continued as usual. The members of the Fu Quak royal family and the great and powerful tycoons all came. There are too many people today. The government sent hundreds of police to maintain order. H1, there's nothing unusual in Tojama. I guarantee there are no outsiders. Don't worry, director. Everything is normal. Not even a fly can get in. As soon as Hak Shuyan finished speaking, he saw a Bao suddenly appear on the top of Fushan Snow Mountain. Qin Mo held the dragon cold sword in his hand and stepped on Mount Fushan. Today is really lively. Not only is it a great festival of the heavens. Moreover, they also want to kill a Chinese person. Ta Tin and Long Trake both looked at Qin Mo on the snow peak. They did not hide the killing intent in their eyes. Today, they only had one enemy, and that was Qin Mo of China. The two great ninja sects joined forces to kill Qin Mo of China. In an instant, the patriotism of the people was ignited. The cry of pigs and dogs of China must die echoed throughout Fushan. They really hope that the two seniors Ta Tin and Long Chech can cut off this Chinese brat. To promote the prestige of the nation. Qin Mo's indifferent eyes watched the two people slowly walk over. Today, I, Qin Mo, want to take your blood sacrifice ring from the top of Tojama Snow Mountain in front of the Fu Quak royal family. Qin Mo, hand over the sect's treasure. Kneel before my millions of men. I will let you die a comfortable death. Qin Mo heard that and sighed softly. Otherwise, it would make my life worse than death, right? Ta Tin arrogantly looked at Qin Mo and said, "It's good that you know that. The Chinese are an inferior race. If you can die by my hand, it will be an honor for you, the Chinese people. Today, I use Chinese people to sacrifice to heaven to save you. Rotten people." Qin Mo looked at the two of them indifferently and said, "The country of ants. I, Qin Mo, have massacred Fuguai today. This is the military principle that a sage has no choice but to use." Having finished speaking, Ta Tin Long and Chach raised their two fingers straight in front of their chests and shouted loudly a ninja technique. The battle of the heavenly ninjas broke out in an instant. The two of them quickly attacked Qin Mo. The lightning ring exploded with a loud bang. The moving snow on the ground clearly shot out several iron pillars, completely locking Qin Mo in all four directions. Each pillar had 100,000 volts. Everyone watching from the front line couldn't help but let out a cry of admiration. In an instant, all sorts of ninja techniques were combined in an extremely exquisite manner. How could this Chinese brat possibly resist? The mocking voices continued to ring out from the crowd. Killing Qin Mo was just that easy. I hope in the next life I will be reincarnated as a Fu Quak person, not a lowly Chinese person. Qin Mo looked at the governor and smiled gently, saying he was quite bold. As soon as he finished speaking, Qin Mo's hand gathered a large amount of spiritual energy. Holding a 100,000 volt pole with his bare hands, a powerful blue lightning bolt shot out from the thunder cage. Completely absorbed by Qin Mo in the palm of his hand. The two people who saw this were stunned and opened their mouths wide. Not only did this not cause any damage to Qin Mo, on the contrary, the moves that Qin Mo had absorbed were completely controlled by Qin Mo. At this moment, Qin Mo held a thunderous palm in his hand and shouted loudly. Lightning and snow combined to explode in an instant. The entire Fushan peak was covered in lightning. Let me show you a little bit of our Chinese martial arts. Zhang Han sword techniques, cold ice domain, frozen ground. At this moment, Qin Mo swung down the dragon cold sword. The dragon cold sword slashed up gusts of snow. The snowstorm around Qin Mo formed a snowstorm. The silver-white sword light continuously outlined beautiful lines within the snowstorm. A second later, the silver-white sword pierced through the snow and instantly killed Long Zi and Ta Tin. The two of them let out a painful roar that echoed through the heavens and earth. One of the two men's arms was slightly severed by the dragon cold sword. Fresh blood spurted from the wound. Qin Mo held the dragon cold sword and indifferently looked at the two armless people. How strong is our China, that it makes you ants feel so lowly? The thousands of ninjas at the foot of the mountain were stunned, as if they were dumbfounded. The entire Fushan mountain became quiet. The chaotic sounds disappeared again. The scene before their eyes was truly unbelievable for the people of Fuquak. But at this moment, the two people suddenly disappeared in front of Qin Mo. Long Chach and Ta Tin slowly raised their remaining hands. The Chinese can hurt both of us, and you are the first. But it can only go this far. With that, the two of them started forming hand seals. They thought that using their top-notch ninjutsu was enough to kill this Chinese person. But they didn't expect that not only would they not kill Qin Mo instead, under Qin Mo's control, one of their arms would be broken. And now Long Zi and Zhuijing were preparing for a real killing move. Legendary god-level ninjutsu. Because ninjutsu is too brutal and has never been used for hundreds of years. Who would have thought that today, a Chinese teenager in his 20s would use this deadly move? This is the god summoned by the most powerful ninjutsu in Fuquak. On the battlefield, as white light emitted, a young lady wearing a snow coat slowly flew up from the middle. Qin Mo admired this woman and couldn't help but say, "This is the legendary snow goddess Tan Lu from Fuquak. The two great ninja sects that lead Fugwa. Using peerless forbidden techniques against the young Chinese. When the gods are summoned, this battle will be great." At this moment, the snow god appeared, calming the four directions. Qin Mo looked at the god on the snow peak and smiled. "I didn't think that your strongest ninja technique would need the Chinese gods to save face. Do you know that the snow god Tang Lu is a person of our Chinese gods?" Qin Mo's sarcasm made Ta Tin and Long Trake very angry. The gods used a forbidden summoning technique. "Whether you, Qin Mo, are from China or from Fuquak, then Tang Lu, kill Qin Mo for me." As Ta Tin gave the order, the six arms slowly raised. Only to see the snowstorm condensing on the horizon. While rumbling, it suddenly charged towards Qin Mo. Even though Tang Lu was a minor Chinese god, he was still a god. Qin Mo could not block this divine strike. Qin Mo had no room to dodge. The huge snowstorm that covered the sky was rumbling down. At this moment, everyone looked at Qin Mo being buried, and cheered, "Huaxia has been defeated. Our Fu kingdom is invincible." The pride of the people. The sense of national superiority once again appeared. Ta Tin glanced at the thick layer of snow behind him. Qin Mo's body must have been completely buried. It would be the honor of his life for Qin Mo to die in Fuquak Lin Fong. At this moment, a loud explosion suddenly sounded. When the two of them looked up at the snowy peak, they saw Qin Mo holding the dragon cold sword flying from the peak in surprise. It pierced through the snow and went straight to the horizon. Then, he suddenly appeared above the two people. His sharp eyes looked at the two people and he raised the dragon cold sword above their heads and suddenly slashed down. The dragon cold sword emitted a dazzling light. A giant sword covered the sky and came killing towards the summoned god. The next second, both the Fuquak spiritual peak and the mountain of the people's faith were destroyed. The sound was played, a black sword split the snow mountain in two. Even the snow god that had just summoned was swallowed by the giant dragon for a while. Everyone was shocked and opened their mouths. Millions of Fugwa people were so scared that their eyes widened. Many people were scared and took a few steps back. Some even ran away. Ta Tin and Long Trake were already scared silly. The two of them cried and quickly admitted defeat. They thought that accepting defeat would end everything. But Qin Mo did not want to let them go. The icy cold needle of the dragon cold sword slashed through the necks of the two people. The two people instantly went limp and fell to the ground, breathless. Qin Mo indifferently looked at the people at the foot of the mountain. "Who else in Fuquak dares to fight with me?" Ha Thursday looked at Mr. Tan's figure in a daze. And at this moment, he was completely attracted to this figure of Qin Mo. The people below looked up at Qin Mo, who was high above them. The next second, Qin Mo moved very quickly. The cold sword energy at Fuji landed on two large Chinese characters. The hundreds of civilians all looked at Qin Mo angrily. They now just wanted to go up there and fight him to the death. However, they did not have the momentum to confront Qin Mo. Qin Mo's sharp eyes looked at the thousands of ninjas at the foot of the mountain and rumbled. "You beasts of Fugwa, listen up. There are no more ninjas in Fugwa this time." At the foot of the mountain, several thousand ninjas could not help but kneel down. All their dignity had been crushed. At this time in the mausoleum of Huaxia City, my VU told Deng Xier that the investigation team of Qin Mo had not been around for more than 10 years. But since Manhwa knew that Qin Mo had the Longhan sword, he did not dare to investigate anymore. Deng Tai Nhi asked suspiciously when we went to assassinate before. "Master, you have never investigated yourself. Why are you doing this time?" "Because this assassination mission was ordered by DM Duong, Tan family." When Deng Tai Nhi heard about the mission issued by the Tan family, he was immediately scared and broke out in a cold sweat. Because with his current strength, how could he be worthy of the Tan family wanting to kill him? My VU also knew that killing Qin Mo was of course simple. But Qin Mo was now the owner of the Long Han sword. She must have had a good relationship with the previous owner of the Long Han sword. She did not want to work for the Qin family. In the end, she monopolized the Fong Yu Tower. Now, Tianhi, you step aside first. Let me talk privately with Tan Deep Nam's son and Tuet Lak Company. You two are my Vu's best friends. But today Qin Mo is really too strong and he is only 21 years old. He already wants to go to the God's Hall to talk with the Qin family. It even makes the Qin family member a little scared. My Vu now looked at Tuet Lakko's tombstone with tears in her eyes. Tuet, don't blame me. For Fong Noyet Lao, I can only do this. Qin Mo must have died in Fu Quak by now. I will bury him with you. At that moment, someone came to report to the young lady. Please come back. Qin Mo not only saved Miss Xiaoshu but also struck the wall of the Fuguo Lingshan with his sword. The snow-swallowing spirit lantern and the sword were engraved with the words Huaxia. Not only did he not die, he also erased the name of the Fuguo ninja from the world. Hearing that, my Vu silently said that perhaps it was fate, their child was not something in the lake. Then my Vu ordered Deng Taigi to give the qualifications to examine the God's Hall to Qin Mo. Qin Mo returned to Fengyue Tower and received the invitation letter to the divine trials as he wished. Mayu told Qin Mo not to be too happy too soon. Only 5 people can participate in the divine trials each year. Only 1 out of the 5 can receive the approval of the divine temple. Only then can they enter the high martial world stage. But last year's trial, all 5 people died in the divine temple. Qin Mo expressed that he had a reason to go to the god's trial. He would definitely participate. At this time in the Yi family had learned that Qin Mo not only died from Feng Yulu but also returned safely. In an instant, he was so angry that his face was covered in veins. Only then did he learn that Qin Mo had obtained the qualifications to test the gods, and his expression changed greatly. He immediately ordered Deep Sung to gather everyone in the Deep family to block the door of Fong Noyet Lao. Qin Mo was not allowed to enter the temple of the gods. Qin Mo looked at the deserted road outside the door and stopped, then said, "Come out, I've been waiting for you for a long time." After saying that, the 4 elders of the Yi family appeared before Qin Mo and said, "Qin Mo, you still dare to come out?" Qin Mo looked at the 4 people and said calmly, "Today, when I leave Fong Noyet Lao, I will settle the score between the Hong family and the Deep family." After saying that, Deep Lai, Mantich, True Tao, and me am attacked. "Qin Mo, if the 4 of us join forces today, you will definitely die." When Yi Lai saw that Qin Mo's dragon cold sword was different from the last time, it was too late as the blade was already right in front of him. At this moment, Qin Mo used the dragon cold to swing out a sword. The dragon's roar echoed across the horizon. It transformed into a sword energy that rumbled towards Yi Lai. At this moment, Deep M's thread quickly pulled Deep Lai away from the scene. If not, they would have been beaten to death by this move. But Qin Mo was determined to look. Of the 4 elders of the Yi family, only 3 were in his sight. Deep Min suddenly walked behind Qin Mo at this moment. Qin Mo suddenly felt a movement coming from behind. A second later, Deep Min's sword stabbed at Qin Mo. Seeing this, Qin Mo immediately retreated. At this moment, the 4 people suddenly attacked together. "Qin Mo, today I will let you taste the power of the 4 of us working together. In order to kill you, we developed the martial art of the reverse puppet." At this moment, Qin Mo looked at the 4 people and revealed a faint smile. "My time at Fong Noyet Lao is not idle anymore. Let's see Qin Mo's martial art, Long Roar." Finished speaking, Qin Mo raised his sword and aimed it at the sky. Spiritual energy instantly wrapped around it. The dragon's roar echoed through the streets. Qin Mo suddenly stopped the wall. The sword energy transformed into a giant dragon and charged towards the 4 people. In an instant, the 4 elders of the Yi family instantly turned into ashes. The remaining members of the Yi family were stunned when they saw this scene. They immediately returned to tell the Yi family head. When Qin Mo returned from his trial, that would be the day the Yi family was destroyed. Not long after, Qin Mo arrived at the Temple of the Gods. "I am Qin Mo, a newcomer from Yen Yang and Feng Yulu. I have come here specially to participate in the experiment of the gods." Inside the Weiqi family's military officials, the head of the family, Weiqi Lai, indifferently looked towards Qin Mo. The young man that Feng Yulu had appointed had arrived. The gods of the Ji family, the head of the family, Ji Chen, said. Feng Yulu felt that it had been quiet for too long and that it was no longer fun, so they deliberately brought this kid here. Morong family gods, the head of the Morong family, Morong Fong, looked down and said awkwardly, "Do you want to let him in?" Gods of the Zhu family, Patriarch Zhugua, congratulations. If Qin Mo has received the invitation from the gods to test, then we should let him in. So easy, Qin Mo was the person appointed by Fong Noyet Lao. If he enters, do you want to eliminate the quota of the 5 great divine families? With that, the door suddenly opened. The Ngu family's gods and the head of the Ngu family slowly walked in. A bunch of stinky men took advantage of this old lady's breakfast to negotiate with the Ngu family to erase their names. You don't want the little toys in your pants anymore, right? Seeing this, the people quickly reached out to hug their toys tightly. If they didn't pay attention, they were afraid that she would cut them off. Wei Qilai explained that he wanted the Zhu family to retreat. Actually, what we were discussing just now was to want the Zhu family to retreat. Back then, Mr. Zhu, out of brotherly loyalty, viewed the entire clan in yin-yang martial arts as enemies. Right now, the descendants of the Qin family are outside the door. The head of the family could not give up his seat. The face of the family changed instantly when they heard what they said. It was truly like a tiger lost in the plains being looked down upon by a dog. Furthermore, the Shu family no longer has the qualifications to enter the Temple of the Gods. The Shu family is probably about to end. Even if you help the Qin family and me get this quota, I will send you a black paper. Only then did Qin Mo have the qualifications to enter the Hall of the Gods. The 4 heavenly families let him participate in the preliminary examination of the gods tomorrow. While at the hotel, he happened to run into Morong Wan, who was chased out by her father. Morong Wan recounted that she also wanted to participate in this preliminary trial of the gods. But after her father heard this, his expression changed in an instant. Do you want to die? What qualifications does a trash from the early days have to enter the Temple of the Gods? The elder sister on the side of my mouth smiled wetly. You should stay home and learn embroidery. Later on, just become in-laws for the sake of the Morong family. Why make things difficult for yourself? Morong Wan finally could not contain the grievances in her heart and cried. I am also your daughter. Why does father always favor Tutuet? With that, father slapped Morong Wan's face and said, Go home. I shouldn't have brought you to the Temple of the Gods. In the hotel room at this time, Qin Mo learned everything from Morong Wan's mouth. The first trial of the gods had a total of 5 tickets. Whoever got the ticket on stage would win. There were no rules, any means could be used. Hearing that, Qin Mo let out a soft sigh. Then he stood up and walked out the door. Looks like he'll be busy tonight. The 2 of them entered the underground parking lot. Qin Mo went to the Temple of the Gods before he saw a special car there. Now it would come in handy. Morong Wan wondered what was different from the other cars. The car body was made of extremely dense titanium alloy. Even those at the early stage of martial arts would have a hard time defeating this car. Qin Mo lazily raised his hand. A spiritual energy instantly appeared. Spiritual energy controlled the object. No matter what, this car now belonged to Qin Mo. Morong Wan was suddenly shocked when she saw this. Using spirit control was a skill that only those at the core formation stage could master. She didn't expect Qin Mo to progress so quickly. Qin Mo recalled his childhood. Grandfather Long and grandfather Shan used alloys and vast spiritual energy to create a top-notch super chariot. He never thought that this chariot would end up in Yin-Yang and find him. The next day. On the first trial stage of the gods. The 5 great gods slowly disappeared from Qin Mo's sight. Ngu Ryu laughed and said from the side. Perhaps he knew the news that we had gathered more than 100 martial arts experts. He was immediately frightened. The Yi clan master looked at a martial artist from the stands. The leading martial artist entered with joy in his heart. This was the martial artist world joining together to kill Qin Mo. This was his best and last chance. Then Kwai Tran showed the referee behind him that he didn't need to wait and immediately started the competition. Following the referee's command, the competition officially began. At this moment, the carriage carried a golden halo and rushed forward violently. Some martial artists who wanted to stop them were instantly sent flying. Even martial artists would have a hard time stopping this carriage. Everyone looked straight into each other's eyes. They were completely confused by this sudden scene. Wasn't this the legendary safest car in the world? Furthermore, Qin Mo was also sitting inside with Morong Wan. Morong Fong saw this and his eyes immediately stood up. He clearly took the girl home last night. Why did she appear on the field now? Kai Tran looked at Qin Mo using spiritual energy to control the chariot. He thought to himself that normally, even if one had reached the great realm of forming a core, where would one get the spiritual energy to control the chariot? He didn't expect a little devil to reach such a realm. The divine chariot was going crazy and rampaging at the competition. Countless martial arts and martial peaks were blasting at the divine chariot, but it could not be shaken. Morong Wan tightly gripped her seatbelt, her face almost turning green. Qin Mo was not driving, he was clearly risking his life. Hundreds of fighters did everything they could. They couldn't move the car. Sorrowful cries echoed across the arena. This extremely tragic scene made countless people unable to bear to look straight. At this moment, the divine carriage suddenly stopped. Everyone tightly grabbed the divine carriage. Qin Mo had to get off the carriage if he wanted to get an entrance ticket. Dozens of martial arts experts who were lucky enough to survive had gathered here. Just waiting for the car door to open, Qin Mo instantly became violent. Following the clicking sound, the car door slowly opened. The martial artists held their weapons in their hands. They even began to silently chant their mind spells, preparing to use their martial arts skills. Qin Mo dared to get out of the car, and they dared to instantly kill Qin Mo. A second later, Qin Mo appeared in everyone's sight. His whole body was wrapped up like a rice cake. There were also countless spirit talismans stuck on his body. The second after the two got out of the car, everyone shouted at Qin Mo to kill him. More than 10 peak martial arts and various types of broken martial arts. All of them suddenly attacked Qin Mo. Only saw the heavens and earth at this moment shake. The heavenly stage also fell into a frenzy. All kinds of high-level weapons were thrown out at the same time. Even those at the martial soul stage would find it difficult to bear. At this moment, the audience below the stage laughed out loud. Is that kid Qin Mo stupid? He even dares to get out of the car. About 10 minutes later. Even though the chariot was extremely sturdy, it was all destroyed. At this moment, everyone was not only tired but also smiling. Qin Mo, the rat that had been disturbing the martial arts world, had finally been eliminated. Seeing this, Zhuge painfully closed his eyes and thought to himself that he was useless. He could not protect Qin Yinan's descendants. Apart from Zhuge's words, most of the people in the stands were smiling victoriously. Only Morong Feng's expression was solemn. After all, his daughter was currently in that pile of scraps. After all, Qin Mo was still an ant in the end. How could he possibly be a match for so many martial arts masters? At this moment, two figures slowly walked out from the rolling yellow dust. Except for a little dirt on their faces, the two of them were completely unharmed. Qin Mo even had a meowing expression. Did you guys just hit me? Why don't I feel anything? These words were undoubtedly extremely sarcastic. Ji Chan and the others' faces turned pale. At this moment, everyone regained their composure. Everyone unleashed all their strength and attacked Qin Mo. The chaotic battle without any hierarchy had turned into a deadly battle for Qin Mo. Qin Mo slowly walked forward while using countless martial arts techniques. Everyone was shocked when they saw Qin Mo slowly walking towards the entrance. Qin Mo reluctantly took out the 5 entrance tickets in his hand. I'll take them first. Wanner, you go in yours too. At this moment, Qin Mo slowly raised his head. He glanced around the people on the observation deck. His eyes stopped on the Yi family head. Then he jumped up on the pillar and shouted at the Yi family head. Yi Jing, do you still remember the Hong family? Listen, this is the end of the Yi family. Qin Mo, do what I say. This sentence was like a bolt of lightning striking Deep Kin's heart. Morong Wan was in turmoil at this moment. She had participated in the first trial of the gods, contrary to her father's words. If she received the entrance ticket, her father would definitely acknowledge her. But when she saw her father, she was scolded. Morong Wan, you are really bold. You dare to ignore your father's orders to participate in the test of the gods. And you even roll around with that stinky brat Qin Mo. You really lose all face for our Morong family. Morong Wan's aggrieved body also began to tremble. After all, she wanted to become a woman to support the Morong family. Then father sighed and said it was time. Then you go and participate in the trial of the gods. Hearing that, a smile immediately appeared on Morong Wan's face. But a trace of evil intent appeared on Morong Feng's face. I have one more thing I want you to do. It's rare for you and Qin Mo to be so close. Find a chance to kill Qin Mo. As long as you kill Qin Mo and have you assist your sister, our Morong family will definitely be able to go a long way. Haven't you always wanted to be recognized by your father? Killing Qin Mo is your only choice. Hearing this, Morong Wan quickly replied that the quota for the trial of the gods was given by Qin Mo. How could she turn around and want to eliminate him now? Morong Wan seemed to be helping her sister pass the test without any hesitation. However, killing Qin Mo was something she absolutely could not do. Morong Feng's expression changed greatly upon hearing this. If you can't do it, then get out of here. I, Morong Fong, will not have a useless daughter like you. At this moment, Morong Wan's face was filled with tears. She didn't know how many times she had been chased away. From today onwards, you are no longer the daughter of my Morong Fong. Having finished speaking, Morong Fong immediately closed the door and left. At this moment, Morong Fong said to Morong Su Shui behind him. If you meet your sister during the competition, never show mercy. She is a traitor to our Morong family. At this time in Qin Mo's room at the God's Hotel, Wei Chi Ling Tian pushed open the door. Shin Mo, you dare sleep with my Wanner. I will not forgive you. Fortunately, Shin Mo had prepared his defenses. His figure jumped up and then Shin Mo said with a vague expression, "What the hell are you doing?" At this moment, Wei Chi Ling Tian struck down with his stick. The bed was immediately split into two halves. Did you sleep on this bed last night? Do you like Yuan Nhi? If you are still a man, then defeat me and I will leave automatically. Wei Chi Ling Tian excitedly grabbed Shin Mo's hand and punched him on the head. I told you to hit me, understand? If you have the guts, hang me from a tree and beat me to death. The more Shin Mo avoided fighting, the more agitated Wei Chi Ling Tian became. As a man, don't be slow, who can't stand it? He immediately recorded a video and sent it to Moron Wan to automatically retreat. Shin Mo was made to lose his patience and said, "Is that what you want?" After saying that, Shin Mo gathered his spiritual power and punched Wei Chi Ling Tian in the stomach. Wei Chi Ling Tian was suddenly thrown several meters away and slammed deep into the wall. Then Shin Mo took out his phone and said he would start filming. Wei Chi Ling Tian was flustered for a moment and immediately cried like a father calling his mother to wake him up. Brother Qin, you are my big brother Qin. Don't ever film me again. If you just let me go, I'll tell you a secret about the trial of the gods. Hearing that, Shin Mo put down his cell phone and frowned, saying, "What secret?" Wei Chi Ling Tian's heart struggled a bit and he hurriedly said the test of the gods. In fact, he and Wan Ru could not pass at all. The four of us each have our own treasures. The gods test 3 major levels, each of which is extremely dangerous. Without the family treasures, we basically cannot pass even one level. Shin Mo did not have good intentions in evaluating Wei Chi Ling Tian. So what is your family treasure? Seeing that Wei Chi Ling Tian didn't want to say anything, Shin Mo directly took out his cell phone and pointed it at him. Seeing that, Wei Chi Ling Tian said, "My family's treasure is the invincible pill. Invincible within 10 seconds of use. Even if a great Luo immortal comes, he won't be able to break it." A second later, Shin Mo directly found a small golden core from Wei Chi Ling Tian. Amazing, you're talking about this thing, right? Then he took out his cell phone and threatened him to reveal the inside story of the other families. Wei Chi Ling Tian reluctantly revealed the inside story of the other family's treasures. Ji Wu's treasure was the glasses in his hand. It was called the concentric mirror and could charm people. Su Shui was very strong so she didn't need any weapons. Yu Zining was a cripple and basically didn't have any weapons inside. After speaking, Shin Mo looked at Wei Chi Ling Tian with a grateful expression. Then thank you, Wei Chi, I'm going. When you have time, fix the broken door. Shin Mo then just left the hotel. He saw the Ngu family's god Ngu Ru stepping on a child under his feet. This person is her biological son, Ngu Tu-min. This mother is a pervert. Not only did she break her son's leg with her own hands. After finding out that her son wanted to participate in the trial of the gods, she crushed his spine, completely crippling him. At this moment, Shin Mo reached out to grab the heel of the shoe. Junior Hua, Hai Shin Mo boast to the gods and the Ngu family head, "Please be merciful." Ngu pretended to be shy to show that he liked my feet that much. It was okay to lend them to him to play with. Shin Mo saw this and quickly let go of his hand to show his guilt. But there is something not quite right about the way the Ngu family treats their child. At this moment, Ngu Tu-min was stepped on and immediately gasped in excitement before falling to the ground in pain. Ngu moved her hands and feet as if she wanted to attack Shin Mo. "My child was born, I can hit him if I want, curse him if I want, and cripple him if I want. Which round is it your turn to interfere?" Hearing this, Shin Mo mustered up the courage to speak calmly. "I also think about the Ngu family head. Ngu Jiaqui is one of the 5 great divine families. If today's matter were to spread out, I'm afraid it would fall into the hands of others. At that time, it would not be easy for someone with the heart to take advantage of this matter to punish them." Ngu's eyes began to turn sinister. "You dare to threaten me? Aren't you afraid I'll kill you to silence you?" Shin Mo coldly smiled and said, "If you kill me, wouldn't the commotion be bigger?" And Ngu was clenched in anger by Shin Mo's fist. "It's best not to let me catch you." Scene changes to outside the gods' hotel at night. Ngu Tu-min said that although he knew that he would not be able to pass the first level of the gods' trial, but he still wanted to give it a try. "From small to large, I have been under my mother's control, but she is still unhappy. I feel that I only need to pass the 3 views test to make her happy. Shin Mo, can you help me?" Shin Mo was spoiled by his maternal love. Without hesitation, he agreed. Shin Mo then returned to his room and recalled the scene just now. He instantly regretted agreeing. Why was his mind so hot at that time? He still had to protect him at that time. Wasn't this asking for trouble? Just at this moment, a hand from behind Shin Mo gently touched him. Moron softly said to Qin Mo from behind. Today, father sent me to kill you. Qin Mo was stunned on the spot after hearing that. Moron saw this and repeated it again. Qin Mo, I said I came to kill you. Aren't you being too calm? A second later, Qin Mo shouted at Moron, that was my line. He clearly wanted to kill me, but he still calmly told me. And the gods of the noble families are all a bunch of problematic children? But then again, she had already said it all. I had definitely refused her father's request. Later, Qin Mo learned while chatting. Ji Wu had a family heirloom called the heart mirror in his hand. Whoever this treasure shined on would fall into an illusion. Kai Vu also has a great trait which is loving beauty, and often wants to debut as an idol. Qin Mo thought to himself upon hearing this. It seemed like there was a way to get the concentric mirror in his hands. Early the next morning, Ji Wu was posing in front of the mirror every day. At this moment, a voice suddenly came from behind. Ji Wu, how could there be a handsome young man like you in this world? Kai Vu heard that and immediately became happy, I thought so too. Then suddenly discovered this sound I had never heard before. At this time, Qin Mo, dressed in an embarrassed manner, appeared in front of Ji Wu and said. Ji Wu, today I just realized how handsome you are. Even when I was a man, I was attracted to you. Qin Mo spoke as he slowly approached Ji Wu. Slowly pulling him into my arms, I spoke. I no longer wanted to restrain myself. I now just wanted to kiss his thick lips with all my strength. Seeing this, Kyu quickly pushed him away. But his look was still very unique. I, the young master, understand your intentions. Qin Mo revealed a barely detectable smile at this moment. That was his intention. No kiss is fine. I have a gift for Ji Wu. Qin Mo finished speaking and took out a box of medicine. This was the latest product of Baihe Pharmaceuticals. Its name was Yindan. Eating it would not only make you young but also nourish your beauty. A beauty like young Master Vu Kentucky. If one could eat a single beauty elixir, then there would be no man in the entire universe who could compare in beauty to him. After listening to Qin Mo's bragging, Ji Wu was completely immersed in himself. It was the fantasy of the most handsome man in the universe. Ji Wu, who had regained consciousness, suddenly realized that Qin Mo was being considerate today. Perhaps there was some deception involved. Then he thought of Qin Mo. He probably didn't have the courage to touch the medicinal pills. After all, the Ji family could crush this ant with just one finger. Directly received the pill from Qin Mo's hand. A mouthful of pill went down. You are a smart kid. I will allow you to be Ji Wu's little brother. I will easily lead you through the trial of the gods. When Ji Wu swallowed the entire pill, Qin Mo revealed a despicable smile. You brat. Did you really believe me when I said you were handsome? After a second with a sound, Kyu fell limply to the ground without consciousness. Qin Mo successfully found the heart mirror from his body. Now everything is ready and now waiting for the gods to test it out. On the second day, the main hall of the gods was practicing the training ground. Except for the Zhu family, the disciples of the other four families in Qin Mo were all present. A second later, a stream of energy suddenly appeared and took all the entrance tickets of several people. Qin Mo looked at this familiar formation and thought to himself that it was a radiant sun formation. The main hall of the gods actually had such a huge formation. Moron explained from the side. Hundreds of years ago, the Qin family's ancestors set up this formation. It locked the temples of the gods for hundreds of years. Qin Mo was shocked by these words. He had thought that Yin Yang, the family of gods who had been here for so long, was already considered the pinnacle of existence. He had not expected that he would only be a guard dog of the Qin family. The divine trial subjects officially began. With that, the large stone door in the main hall suddenly opened. Ji Wu stood at the side, his mouth wide open in shock. Wasn't the first door a puppet? Why was it so quiet? These words inevitably made Qin Mo feel suspicious. Ji Wu knew a little about the trial process. Why did the process change today? Ngutumin smiled and took out a piece of soft armor. This is the soft armor I made for him day and night. It can withstand normal multi-swords. It is effective no matter how much you wear. At this moment, a loud sound echoed through the hall. When people wondered what it was accompanied by dragon roars. A monster that was over 10 meters tall slowly stood up. This monster was like a dragon but not a dragon. He looked down on Qin Mo and his group like small ants looking down on life. The 5 martial arts masters were already scared stiff. The Qin family changed the trial of the gods this year. They directly used such a precious spirit beast as the test of the gods. Based on their strength alone, they would definitely die in the dragon's belly. Ji Chen's face darkened as he thought that the Qin family did not want Qin Mo to enter the martial arts academy at all. And this year's trial of the gods was not to choose the successor of the gods. It was to kill Qin Mo because Qin Mo was considered the only blemish by the Qin family. This is the dragon scale sacred beast, one of the 9 great ancient spiritual beasts. It was originally the guardian spiritual beast of the Qin family. Now it was being used to deal with a group of unborn children. The dragon scale sacred beast let out an angry roar and charged towards Qin Mo's group. Wei Qi Ling Tian instantly panicked and ran away in fear. Ji Wu loudly said, "What are you running for? This place was too big. If we cooperated, there might still be hope." Then, he ordered Su Shue's agile movements to attack the monster's flank. Wei Qi Ling Tian attacked the monster's weak point. Qin Mo looked at the 3 of them with disdain and said, "As for you 3 useless people, find a place to hide and don't bother me." But the dragon scale sacred beast is an ancient spirit beast. How could a few weak children possibly resist it? Morong Fong was worriedly looking at Morong Su Shue from the stands. Shuer and the others definitely couldn't beat the dragon scale sacred beast. Could they take this opportunity to open the door for them? Ji Chen frowned and said that his son was inside anyway. Besides, the control of the main gate of the Temple of Gods was in the hands of the Qin family. If the Qin family wanted to kill Qin Mo, how could they open the door? Now there was only one way to alleviate their predicament. That was to transfer the hatred of the divine beast to Qin Mo. Seeing this, Wei Qi Lai hurriedly commanded his son to the trial area. He transferred the spirit beast's hatred value to Qin Mo. Faced with his father's orders, Wei Qi Ling Tian had no choice but to obey. A second later, the holy beast was led by Wei Qi Ling Tian. The holy beast suddenly attacked Qin Mo and the other 3. Morong Wan saw this and immediately said, "Shouldn't we run away? Why did we bring the divine beast here?" Zhu Guo on the side reminded Qin Mo, "Ji Wu and the others have joined forces to attack you, so be careful." Only saw Qin Mo slowly stand up. If it was coming towards him, Qin Mo also did not want to implicate Wanner and Ziming. When the dragon scale sacred beast was about to reach Qin Mo immediately jumped up, appearing less than 2 meters away from the sacred beast. "I am here. If you have the guts, come and eat me." In a flash, the holy beast attacked again. Qin Mo opened his martial art with both hands and used the core formation technique, and the Great Saint Spirit Wall suddenly poured down. Together with the condensed air, it formed a green Great Saint Spirit Wall. The holy beast was suddenly hit and fell heavily to the ground with a loud bang. Everyone was shocked. Qin Mo was actually able to block the dragon scale sacred beast's attack. Qin Mo's strength far exceeded their imagination. Truck Hao looked at the terrified family heads and couldn't help but smile faintly. "Do you still think that Tan Deep Nam's son is a simple character?" At this moment, Qin Mo grabbed Ji Wu by the collar. Without waiting for him to speak, he carried him out of the great holy spirit wall with one hand. This holy spirit wall can only be used to protect us trash. It cannot protect someone as good as you. You and the holy beast can continue playing. The dragon scale sacred beast found its target and chased after Ji Wu. Ji Wu panicked and ran around. How could he be a match for this dragon scale sacred beast? Not long after, he was beaten by the sacred beast and cried for his father and mother. And hurriedly called Big Brother Qin to ask for him to enter the sacred wall. Qin Mo was dissatisfied and said, "I don't have a son like you." In the end, he wanted this useless guy to take action. Qin Mo slowly walked out of the great holy spirit wall. He threw out more than 10 spirit talismans from his bosom. While waving his hand, the spirit talisman danced and floated around his body, emitting a pale blue halo. The corner of Qin Mo's mouth silently chanted the spell of the spirit beast binding formation. Qin Mo let out a loud ah sound. More than 10 spirit talismans suddenly fell down from Qin Mo. The spirit talisman on its neck suddenly stuck to various parts of the dragon scale sacred beast's body. The dragon scale sacred beast let out a miserable scream. No matter how much he fought, he would be beaten to the ground by the roaring spirit talisman. A second later, Qin Mo suddenly struck the holy beast with the dragon cold sword in his hand. Qin Mo immediately used the soul-bearing formation, and the sharp sword light of the dragon cold sword pierced through the body of the dragon scale sacred beast. A loud explosion rang out. The dragon scale sacred beast struggled a few times before becoming completely still. "Wait until the smoke clears." Qin Mo sat on the holy beast's head with a dusty face and finished speaking. At this moment, 4 beams of light lit up the sky. 4 tickets to the second level of the gods slowly fell down. Qin Mo divided it among Morong Wan and Yu Ziming. "Leave 1 copy for Wei Qi Ling Tian and Morong Su Shue to freely distribute." Morong Su Shue saw this and immediately snatched it. "This is mine. If you can, come and take it." Right now, Wei Qi Ling Tian's strength is not as good as Morong Su Shue's. Moreover, the invincible pill on her body was taken away by Qin Mo. He himself is now no match for her. He can only reluctantly accept this outcome. At this time, on the martial arts stage, the noble families began to congratulate the Morong family. Qin Mo was no match for Morong Sushue. The others were not scary. The group carefully entered the second gate. Everyone was extremely nervous. The second floor and first floor gates were no different. But there was no movement. It was even a little quiet. Just then, a ticking sound suddenly rang out. Qin Mo couldn't help but raise his head to look back, only to see a drop of rain appear on the empty ceiling. Qin Mo did not know what effect these raindrops had, so he quickly raised both hands. The blue shield covered the 4 people inside. The few people looked closely at the water surface in the distance. The rain started to condense together, forming the condensing rain divine army. Qin Mo and the others were completely stunned. They stared blankly at the tens of thousands of condensing feather divine soldiers. These condensing feather divine soldiers were slowly approaching them, holding all kinds of weapons in their hands. At this moment, the divine weapon condensation army suddenly attacked Qin Mo from all angles. It attacked the spirit shield. The sturdy spirit shield collapsed in an instant. Just one strike destroyed the spirit shield in an instant. Qin Mo pushed the wheelchair up, carrying Gu Tumin, and ran away. Morong Wan and Morong Su Shui reacted very quickly. The two of them jumped up. In the blink of an eye, the condensing feather divine army attacked and split into 2 halves. But the condensing feather divine army was instantly cut off and split into new condensing feather divine armies, one transformed into 2. The condensing rain god army was formed from condensed rain. Destroying the rain was equivalent to destroying the condensing rain god army. Therefore, Qin Mo immediately ordered Wanner and Su Shui to quickly bombard the southern wall to let the sun shine in. But mere sunlight cannot directly destroy these condensed rain divine armies. Qin Mo slowly said the 3 words between the sun. When the sound between the sun ended, the dark currents of heaven and earth started. The crimson sun emitted a golden light that shook people's hearts. It suddenly shone on the body of the condensing martial god. The martial man instantly struggled in pain. Before long, he completely dissolved into the rain. The noble families in the martial arts arena were completely shocked. Who exactly was Qin Mo's master? This was the forbidden technique of ancient Chinese feng shui. If you weren't careful, it would backfire. Truck Hao looked at the terrified looks of the people and secretly laughed. As expected of Tan Deep Nam's son. Always bringing different surprises. At this moment, the god's card appeared in the air. As some people were about to reach out their hands, suddenly, thick mist rose into the air and began to gather rules, gradually forming a giant curtain that covered the entire second floor space. Several people slowly watched the huge curtain of sky violently crash down. Everyone was stunned and could not help but be stunned. Morong Wan calmly took a millisecond speed. The white bone curtain fell down. Her weak body resisted the white mist in sky. If this Bai Ling Tian tomb fell, everyone would turn into minced meat. Morong Wan shouted loudly, "Hurry up and get the god's cards." Morong Fong saw Morong Shui looking at his sister and was instantly enraged. "What are you doing? Quickly get the god's cards now. Take advantage of this moment to get the ticket to the next level as soon as possible." Morong Su Shui immediately said, "But my sister is still there. She is my sister." Hearing this, Morong Fong became even angrier and said, "You bastard. He was born to be the sacrifice of the Morong family. He is your stepping stone to greatness." Morong Wan was now defeated by the sun and tears were streaming down her face. "Sister Su Shui, Dad was right. I am the buffer for the Morong family. I promised Dad that I would help you overcome the challenge." A second later, Morong Su Shui arrived beside Morong Wan. She rolled up her sleeves and lifted the mist before saying, "I am not a buffer for anyone, I am your younger sister." At this moment, Qin Mo looked at Morong Wan and Morong Su Shui in a daze. This is completely inconsistent with Morong Su Shui's style of conduct. Seeing both daughters like that, Morong Fong instantly became so angry that his face turned blue. "You naughty girl, do you want to wake me up?" The rest of the people started to panic. The Qin family did not want Qin Mo to clear customs. According to this trend, Qin Mo became the most likely person to clear customs. Not to mention our big families being removed from our list. We also offended the Qin family. Morong Feng's eyes began to turn fierce. No, he has the qualifications to be a great martial artist. When he leaves the temple of the gods, we must take the opportunity to kill him. I would rather sacrifice my 2 daughters than offend the Qin family. Truck Hao on one side heard the other 4 family heads talking. Secretly swear that if that time really comes, then I will definitely use the entire Truck family to protect Qin Mo. Qin Mo and Gu Tumin quickly passed through and entered the 3rd floor. On the stone platform in the middle of the hall, a card was floating. It could be said that this was the identity card of a martial artist. As long as I can get the identity card of a martial artist, I can live in the same world as the Qin family. There will be a day when I can meet the Qin family. At this moment, Ngu Tu Min's face began to darken. Brother Tan, there is only one identity card for martial arts. Then please give it to me. After speaking, he slowly placed his hands behind his back, as if he wanted to activate some mechanism. At this time, Qin Emo was also a bit surprised and asked Zimning what he was going to do. A smile appeared on Ngu Tu Min's face. Mr. Tan, you are a top feng shui expert. You should know what my father used, right? Qin Mo's wrinkled pupils began to tense up as he finished speaking. Ziming, why did you suddenly say that? At this moment, Ngu Tu Min showed that he was also very helpless. If he did not kill Qin Emo, he would have no way to stay in the Ngu family. Then Ngu Ziming pressed the blood-red key moment. Several cannons appeared behind the wheelchair. Ngu Ziming looked at Qin Emo with a sinister expression. Qin Emo, if you want to hate me, then hate me. Then all the cannons aimed at Qin Emo and said, Brother Qin, I'm sorry, I will repay your kindness in the next life. After saying that, Ngu Tu Min directly pressed the launch button. Then suddenly there was an explosion. Of course, the shells that were fired were all stuffed animals. Ngu Tu Min saw that and his face turned pale. Qin Emo frowned slightly and smiled as I took him back to his room that night. I checked that car with my divine sense. As a friend, I was afraid that you would be in danger. So I secretly replaced it for you. Put the ball and a few other toys. Then Qin Emo picked up the ball beside him and added, I remember the day you said you wanted to go out and see. I, Qin Emo, immediately stuffed this ball in. I will let Tu Min choose a favorite country first here. Then I will take you there. Ngu Tu Min was so touched that tears filled his eyes. This was the first time someone cared about him like this. Tan Tian is pretty, I was wrong. I would rather be killed by my mother than kill you. I will untie you. At this time, Nunu was watching the situation from the viewing platform, looking at her son like that. She let out a furious scolding. You are really a piece of trash. Everything was played by Qin Emo. Ji Chen's eyebrows also began to furrow. Right now, only Qin Emo had the qualifications to admit it. Who knows what trap the Qin family will set at the final door. When Zhu Jia saw Qin Emo like that, tears fell uncontrollably. Yi Nan, do you see? Your son of 20 years is about to return to the martial arts world of Yin Yang. The scene changed to entering the 4th floor. It was like being in an endless abyss. At this moment, a figure slowly walked out from the darkness. This person was wearing a white outfit. It was not until he was only more than 10 meters away from Qin Emo that Qin Emo could clearly see the man's appearance. Then Qin Emo was completely stunned. His whole body felt like it was struck by lightning. He instantly looked up at the man walking over. The aristocratic families in the military court were shocked and opened their mouths. The Qin family used a forbidden feng shui technique to lock the soul. They really did hide Qin Yinan's soul. At this moment, Qin Emo felt an unprecedented sense of impatience and confusion. Qin Emo was completely defeated. He could be killed at any moment. Father, I have practiced very well in the wilderness. Grandpa Lon, everyone praises my talent and I have improved very quickly. No matter how much Qin Emo said, Qin Yinan's expression did not change. Qin Yinan was currently just a puppet of the Qin family. In just a moment, the brush in Qin Yinan's hand suddenly swung up. Ink instantly splattered onto Qin Mo's clothes, along with a strong burning smell. An intense burning sensation transmitted from Qin Mo's chest. Just the ink stains directly corroded his clothes. Looking at Qin Yinan's empty eyes, Qin Emo realized that the person before him was not his father. The hand holding the dragon cold sword slashed at the person opposite. But when the projection hit Tan Deep Nam, everything turned into black ink. At this moment, the brush in Qin Yinan's hand suddenly hit Qin Emo. Qin Emo was instantly knocked to the ground. He heavily spat out a mouthful of fresh blood. He also did not expect that the Qin family would come up with such a vicious plan. Even knowing that the hand was just an illusion of his father, Qin Emo himself could not bring himself to do it. At this moment, Qin Emo fell to the ground, not knowing what to do. Countless childhood memories flooded back. Suddenly, his mother's voice rang out in his mind. Yinan, from now on, our child will be called Qin Emo. He was originally in existence at the peak of Chinese martial arts. Now his soul was sealed. He had completely become a killing machine arranged by his family. Qin Emo had given up struggling at this point. He never thought that the result would be that he would be killed by his father. Qin Yinan's empty eyes looked at Qin Emo. When he walked towards Qin Emo, his expression suddenly changed. His empty eyes also became slow. Qin Yinan then spoke up and told Qin Mo to kill him quickly. He also told Qin Mo to try to live. Qin Yinan groaned in pain, but only Qin Mo could hear it. Qin Yinan's powerful soul unexpectedly resisted the pain of the soul release technique. He forcefully had a yin and yang conversation with Qin Mo. Qin Mo was now in tears. This was the first time his father had ever asked him to kill himself. At this moment, Qin Mo's explosive sound shook the rocks with dust. A mass of souls shook nearby. Qin Mo suddenly spun his sword around. He quickly passed by Qin Yinan's side. The roaring dragon cold sword emitted a dazzling blood-red light. The sword light covered the entire hall. The family heads on the martial arts stage opened their mouths wide. Qin Yinan was at the martial soul realm. How could he? After a loud explosion, only a black shadow slowly walked towards him from the smoke and dust. At this moment, Tan Deepnam spoke, "You are indeed my son." At this moment, Qin Mo looked towards the black shadow. Qin Mo then couldn't help but sigh and catch his breath. He revealed an unavoidable bitter smile. "Father, please make your move now." "Okay, as you wish." Tan Deepnam took out a giant painting from his chest. At this moment, he waved his hand. The painting flashed with golden light. While it was being unfolded, Qin Yinan looked at Qin Mo with empty eyes. Fear appeared on the faces of Wei Qi Lai and the others at the same time. They looked at Tan Deepnam as if they were seeing a monster. Xu Hao secretly said with bitterness that Qin Mo could not bear it at all. Qin Yinan then let out a loud ah sound. A huge black mountain appeared in the black hole on the horizon and suddenly pressed down towards Qin Mo. Before Qin Mo could react, the heavy mountain banner was placed on top of Qin Mo. But the pressure of the Ink Mountain attack was so great that it directly shattered the spirit shield. Then another loud bang rang out. In a flash, it pushed Qin Mo back several dozen meters. Qin Mo struggled to crawl out of the rubble. If this continued, he would definitely be killed by Qin Yinan. At this moment, Qin Yinan's eyes emitted a purple light, summoning all the weapons. As he finished speaking, countless sharp blades instantly appeared and fell like fallen leaves. Their targets were all pointed towards Qin Mo. At this moment, Qin Mo was very desperate. But he always had one wish, which was to surpass his father. Facing the sharp blade that was coming towards him, Qin Mo suddenly stood up. Only heard the whole ground resound with a loud explosion. Qin Mo let out a painful sound of forbidden martial art. Blood sacrifice barrier. At this moment, the blood light on the ground retracted and covered Qin Mo's entire body. Several family heads in the martial arts hall were stunned as they looked at Qin Mo. Blood sacrifice barrier uses blood to exchange for spiritual energy. It used to be one of the great forbidden techniques of the cultivation world. When the earth entered the period of inviolability, immortal cultivation was almost extinct. The blood sacrifice barrier was a forbidden technique and would also quickly disappear. Nunu and the others heard Truckhouse words and laughed. So what's the benefit of replenishing spiritual energy? Could it be that Qin Mo has other hidden moves? Hearing that, Truckhouse smiled mysteriously and stopped talking. It seemed that Qin Mo had a trump card. Immediately, Wei Qi Lai looked towards the ruins of the testing ground and his expression changed greatly. At this time, Qin Mo completed the soul replenishment through the blood sacrifice barrier. Qin Mo was currently consuming his life in a battle with Qin Yinan. At this moment, all the 10,000 soldiers appeared before Qin Mo. Qin Mo suddenly closed his eyes. A golden light appeared on his body. Especially on his closed eyelids. But it could not hide the dazzling golden light. The divine light of ancient martial arts. Qin Mo let out a loud bang. A golden flame rumbled in and out of his eyes. Everything that came near was set on fire. Everyone watching the battle was stunned. The 7 divine weapons technique far surpassed the martial breaking divine technique and martial soul divine technique. When the eyes opened, everything it saw was on fire. The entire landscape was covered in smoke. At this moment, Qin Mo stopped his divine illumination. He knew what God's illumination meant to the father. It will precisely make the closest distance between Qin Mo and his father from now on disappear. Qin Mo then tearfully said, "Father, I don't want you to die." Qin Yinan's body began to tremble. His soul was still struggling with the soul release technique. His eyes suddenly lit up in an instant. "Qin Mo, kill me quickly." Qin Mo closed his eyes and pondered for a long time. Even though his eyes were closed, tears still flowed out strongly as he said, "Qin Mo, I accept your orders." Then Qin Mo suddenly opened his eyes and glanced at Qin Yinan. Qin Yinan's body began to slowly dissipate. Qin Mo knelt on the ground, dumbfounded, watching his father slowly disappear. At this time, Qin Yinan also turned his head to look at Qin Mo and said, "You've grown up." After saying that, Qin Mo immediately burst into tears and cried without making a sound. Nunu and the others watched Qin Mo use the forbidden divine technique twice in a row. It meant that his soul was exhausted. Now was the best chance to kill Qin Mo. At this moment, Zhu Hao's figure suddenly blocked the 4 people who wanted to kill Qin Mo. The Zhu Hao family head immediately stood up to stop them. Then, a few people looked at Truck Hao indifferently and said, "If the 4 great divine families consider you a human, then you will be a human. If they don't respect you, then you are nothing. Do you think you can protect that kid?" Before long, 4 people blocked Qin Mo's way. At this moment, they coldly looked at the exhausted Qin Mo. "Qin Yinan, this dog is finally dead. He used to step on my head everywhere. Now, isn't he killed by his own son?" Qin Mo heard this and hoarsely opened his mouth. His voice was as cold as ice and he shouted, "Enough." Ngunu looked at Qin Mo's dying appearance and laughed. "Are you crazy? What's in your head?" At this moment, Qin Mo suddenly raised his head. His eyes were filled with bloodshot veins, like a demon sword demon. "I mean, the reason to destroy your temple of gods is enough." At this time, Ji Chen looked at Qin Mo and smiled, saying, "You are a cultivator. Your spiritual energy must have been depleted by now. Moreover, this 7 martial divine technique is divinely illuminated. You can only use it twice a day. Right now, Qin Mo, you are just a half-dead fish on the chopping block. Qin Mo, hurry up and die." Following Ngunu's loud sound, the 4 family heads arrived like thunder. These 4 people represented the strongest power in DM Duong at present. Qin Mo still coldly looked at the 4 people who did not make any movements. Then Qin Mo raised his head to the sky and laughed loudly like a madman. The sound of laughter echoed throughout the heavens. "You guys dare to be so rude here? I, Qin Mo, am Qin Yinan's son. Therefore, killing you all is as easy as turning over my hand." Blood sacrifice barrier, Qin Mo suddenly let out an explosive sound. A dense blood light erupted from his entire body. Instantly, the temple of gods was covered by a layer of bloodlight. Different and terrifying. Ji Chen and the others looked at Qin Mo in fear. Does this brat not want to live anymore? Who are you? And the others were completely stunned, cheering for the divine technique and divine light. Qin Mo's eyes opened in an instant. A ray of light suddenly shot out from Qin Mo's eyes. There were now rubble everywhere. Only then did the family heads realize. Qin Mo's target was not them. It was the entire temple of gods. The temple of the gods is the symbol of power of the 5 great divine families in Zhongwu. Qin Mo wants to completely destroy the foundation of the divine families. The 4 anxious family heads hurriedly stopped Qin Mo from doing so. If the Qin family were to blame us, we would not have a good ending. At this moment, Qin Mo was like a demon. Even if he used his last drop of blood, he would destroy this temple of gods. Not long after, the situation completely got out of control. Seeing this, Nunu immediately ran out of the temple of gods. Kaitran looked at Qin Mo's figure, gritting his teeth, with no resentment. At the last moment the temple collapsed. Qin Mo's eyes closed, but he smiled because it was over. Ji Chen and his group were dumbfounded. The flames in the temple were almost burning to the horizon. The temple was completely destroyed. Ji Chen looked at the collapsed temple and said, "We have escaped. But how can we explain this to the Qin family?" Fong said that killing Qin Mo was the Qin family's arrangement. Qin Mo must have died inside today. The Qin family probably wouldn't blame us. A few hours later, Qin Mo walked over with empty eyes. The countless wounds on his body had already frozen. He didn't know how long he had been walking when he heard a shop turning on its lights. Follow the sounds slowly groping in. Qin Mo went to the door and shouted loudly, "I want wine, meat and food quickly." Inside the store, a group of figures appeared that Qin Mo found familiar. But because Qin Mo was blind, he couldn't see them with his own eyes. Inside were none other than Qin Mo's grandparents, Grandpa Long, Grandma Luo, and Grandpa Lu. Seeing Qin Mo like this made their hearts ache. "Lu Dazui, get him something to eat." At this time, Qin Mo was so hungry that he didn't know how to describe it. Seeing the food, he picked it up and stuffed it into his mouth. Suddenly a familiar smell came from the wine and meat. It immediately made Qin Mo suddenly awake. How could someone make a dish that tasted so similar to Grandpa Lu's? Having said that, he collapsed tiredly on the table. Grandma Luo blamed Longihan on the side. "Qin Mo was about to die and you only told us. If anything happens to the boy, I will make your life a living hell." Looking at Qin Mo lying on the bed with only one breath left, Grandpa Lu couldn't help but cry loudly. At that time, we shouldn't have let Qin Mo return to the city. Thanks to Luo Xayan's rescue, Qin Mo's injuries have stabilized. However, he had to use the ancient martial art technique 3 times. It would take time for his eyes to recover. Afterwards, several people sat down to discuss whether or not to take Qin Mo back to the wilderness. Grandpa Long was the first to object. A man whose ambition is to reach the four directions should wander outside. I, Lady Lack, helped Qin Mo destroy the Qin family. Grandpa Long shook his head and waved his hand. There are some things that only Qin Mo can experience himself. If the five of us leave the mountain, the martial arts of China will certainly be in chaos. The Qin family is Qin Mo's great calamity. This calamity can only be solved by the boy himself and no one can help him. Luo Xian suddenly thought of something. It seemed that the only thing he could do was spread the news that Qin Mo had obtained a martial arts witness. Let the Mozu that Qin Yin left behind tell him. Let them find Qin Mo and help him. Let's talk about these things back in the wilderness later. It's getting late. We should go. Before leaving, Grandma Luo kissed Qin Mo on the forehead. Then she placed a secret manual under his pillow. This was the Luo family's ancient martial arts technique. And this was also the only thing Luo Xing could leave him. Qin Mo still had to learn this manual well. After saying that, the people slowly left. Early the next morning, Qin Mo was awakened by the sunlight shining through the window. He could clearly feel that the wounds on his body had been treated by someone. And his eyes seemed to be slowly recovering. This made Qin Mo think of Grandma Luo. But thinking back, Luo Xian should be in the wilderness right now. How could she appear in Yanyan? At this moment, a book suddenly fell from his head. Qin Mo picked it up and saw that it was indeed an ancient martial arts book. Then he thought to himself, this desolate land. How could there be real ancient martial arts? So he decided to hide it first. Later, he could still deceive others. Now it was time to go find the Deep family to settle the score. At this time, in DM Duong, Bok Lin Wine House. 3 groups of young men marked words on their chests and lined up in an orderly manner. The leader is Tan Ban. From the experience of Senior Long Wu, Qin Mo had obtained the rank of High Martial Artist. Immediately gathered the members of the group. After hearing this, Bin Ky excitedly said to his brothers. So what are we waiting for? Our brothers from the south and the north have gathered. Quickly go and gather with the young master and help him deal with the Tan family. According to Senior Long No's announcement 20 years ago, Mo Zhu reappears. Having finished speaking, Long Ngo waved his hand to signal his brothers behind him. I will represent young Master Tan to announce the first mission, go to Bok Hop Pharmaceutical Company to meet young master, and help him deal with the martial arts master of the Tan family. The second day of the Lunar New Year was supposed to be a day of family reunion. On that day, Qin Mo declared war on the entire martial arts world. At this moment, the Yi family was in a state of peace. They all thought that Qin Mo's face in the Temple of the Gods had been ruined. Even if he didn't die, he would completely become a cripple. At this moment, a card carrying a terrifying energy suddenly passed through the bodies of the 2 newcomers. The 2 of them instantly fell into a pool of blood. The card was also firmly stuck on the ground. Yi Jing took the card and was suddenly surprised. This was indeed Qin Mo's invitation to the Yi family. He invited the Yi family to come to the Hong family to talk for a bit. The Yi family had just exterminated the Hong family not long ago. Qin Mo immediately sent out this invitation. This was clearly a naked provocation. Yi Jing was shaking with anger as he held the invitation in his hand. Secretly thinking Qin Mo absolutely cannot in such a short time. He healed the wound on his body. After that, he immediately sent someone to contact all the Zhongwu families. He spread the news that Qin Mo had defeated the Zhongwu world. Yi Jing wanted to completely eliminate this Yin-Yang tumor. But in a blink of an eye, the news of Qin Mo declaring war on the martial arts world quickly spread. At this time, Qin Mo had already arrived at the scene in the Hong family home. Respect the people of the Hong family underground. Soon, all the great martial arts families were present. This fierce battle was not only related to the interests of martial arts. At the same time, it also affected the interests of many parties. At this moment, Do Feng Yao was supporting his grandfather and looking intently at the courtyard. They thought Qin Mo was crazy? Because he was alone now. How could he fight against the martial arts world? Everyone felt inexplicably surprised by Qin Mo's declaration of war. Even though Qin Mo's strength was very strong, he was facing the entire martial arts world. Everyone felt that Qin Mo's mind was a bit off. The 4 family heads slowly walked into the Hong family's mansion. The people surrounding them all made way. Everyone bowed. The Yi clan head, the Qian clan head, the Dog clan head, and the Zhao clan head. These 4 people were led by the Yi clan. They represented the strongest fighting force in the martial arts world below the gods. At this time, Qin Mo brought the last wine to the cold snow tablet. He said that the wait had come, the grudges inside would end today. Today, he would definitely avenge everyone. Qin Mo looked steadily at Yi Jing behind him. The new year was coming and it was also the time to worship ancestors. Has Master Yi brought the offerings yet? Deepkin contemptuously smiled and said, Mr. Tan, you must have forgotten, right? My Deep family has deep family ancestors. I have never heard of the Deep family needing to worship other people's ancestors. At this moment, spiritual energy appeared in Qin Mo's body and calmly looked at Yi Jing. It's okay if you don't bring it, it's okay. Then the Yi family's people are the best gifts for the 74 Hong family members. Hearing that, Deepkin angrily laughed. Do you think that my Deep family is all trash? Can you destroy Qin Mo just by saying so? After saying that, the 4 martial arts masters suddenly unleashed their powerful strength. They suddenly attacked Qin Mo. Seeing this, everyone couldn't help but exclaim, a martial expert at the peak is so terrifying. If they attack Qin Mo together, then Qin Mo would probably die in the Hong family's house this time. Deepkin clearly felt that Qin Mo's strength had grown during this period of time. He warned the clan leaders to absolutely not show mercy. If Qin Mo did not die today, he would have endless trouble in the future. Qin Mo stood there indifferently. Patriarch Xian took the lead and arrived in front of Qin Mo. A terrifying energy surged towards Qin Mo from his palm. Just as he was about to arrive, Qin Mo raised his hand and a loud bang was heard. The Qian clan master instantly spurted blood from his mouth and was sent flying by Qin Mo. Deepkin was also extremely frightened when he saw this. The Tian family head was also at the peak of his martial arts realm. Why was he so weak today? Qin Mo looked at the 4 people with icy cold eyes. The heads of the 4 great martial families were only this good. How about this, if the 4 of you ghosts come down here, I will give you 4 a comfortable death. Deepkin gritted his teeth and shouted angrily. Qin Mo, do you really think that our martial world only has this little bit of background? Qin Mo coldly smiled, regardless of what kind of background you guys have. In front of Qin Mo's absolute strength, I am useless. Qin Mo's words completely angered the 4 people of Yi Jing. Yi Jing roared and set up his formation. The 4 clan leaders quickly finished. The great perfection of the martial peak formation combined with the martial technique and the heavenly formation. The words fell to the horizon. A deity was instantly summoned out. The crowd of onlookers were shocked and gaped. The Yi family head actually had such a killer move. This was truly a divine figure. How could Qin Mo win? Qin Mo admired the giant god figure slowly descending, his expression somewhat filled with admiration. Apart from Lu Li, this was the first time he saw a legendary level god general. Deepkin laughed heartily at this moment and said, Qin Mo, are you scared to pee your pants? Quickly kneel down and beg for forgiveness. My Deep family can give you a quick death. Hearing that, Qin Mo slowly raised his cold dragon sword. He coldly glanced at Yi Jing and the others who were laughing loudly. Look up 3 feet and there are gods. Your Yi family has done all the bad things, so how can you be worthy of using gods? Qin Mo raised his cold dragon sword above his head and shouted. Zhang Han swordsmanship territory froze. Only saw the cold dragon sword swinging up gusts of snow. The snowstorm around Qin Mo formed a blizzard. Seeing this, Deepkin laughed loudly and said, Qin Mo, you were so naive. Just by using your ice domain, you can block the angel's form. It's truly child's play. It was true that only the ice domain was truly unable to stop it. Then, Qin Mo's spiritual energy suddenly gathered in the palm of his hand. The immortal snow domain martial art, followed by a loud explosion. The 2 great snow domains collided with the giant porcelain of the divine general. A violent shockwave instantly occurred at the scene. Qin Mo roared and returned the spirit to the heavens. Do not disturb my pure land on earth. His spiritual energy spread out again and he raised his finger. It was seen that Xing Tian finally could not withstand the impact force. Qin Mo once again pointed his finger towards the horizon. Deepkin's group saw this and widened their eyes, not daring to believe that this was true. This was the martial art that the Qin family's ancestor had researched. How could they lose? At this moment, everyone was dumbfounded. Even the 4 patriarchs of the divine families had to look straight at him and judge. Genius, Qin Mo was truly a once-in-a-thousand-years genius. From the very beginning, he wanted to take advantage of what nature had to offer. The strongest destructive force to deal with the heavenly formation. Hearing that, Wei Qilai also frowned and said, if this person is not eliminated, it will be a disaster for the family gods. Just as Yi Qing was about to leave, Qin Mo immediately froze his legs. Yi Qing's pale face trembled as he made a sound. Qin Mo, I was wrong, please forgive me. I have something to discuss with you. The other 2 family heads who were with the Deep family head were instantly flustered when they saw this. They hastily abandoned their relationship with Deepkin. They pretended that it was Deepkin who forced and threatened them to come here. With that, Qin Mo stepped on Yi Jing's face. Yi Jing let out a painful cry. Qin Mo then looked sharply at the two of them and said, "As long as I let you go, you are willing to do anything for me, right?" The two family heads saw that Qin Mo had the intention to reconcile, so they nodded and said they would do whatever they wanted. Qin Mo's eyes began to turn vicious. He gently praised what the two said. Then he raised his hand and pointed at Deepkin. "Now I want you to destroy the Deep family." At this moment, Deepkin gritted his teeth and looked at Qin Mo, not daring to make a sound. The two homeowners were struck by lightning upon hearing this. They stood still, not knowing what to say. A second later, Qin Mo's cold sword pointed straight at his neck. The several clan leaders kindly reminded him. "I wasn't negotiating with you just now. I hope you can do it before your heads fall to the ground. Make the right choice now." After finishing speaking, the few people quickly agreed to Qin Mo. All the people of the Yi family will be killed. Qin Mo shouted at the few people to kill the Yi family. Bring their heads and place them in front of the Hong family. If there is a head missing, then use someone from your family to make up for it. At this time, Deepkin's face was full of tears. His face was full of fear and dread. "Please don't touch my wife and children." But Qin Mo coldly said a sentence. Qin Mo said these words very seriously. He asked Yi Jing. "When you destroyed the entire Hong family, didn't you think that one day you would end up like this?" With that, the dragon cold sword drew a sharp sword light. Deepkin's head immediately fell to the ground and blood dyed the white snow red. Qin Mo then wiped the snow off the tombstone of the Hong family head. He placed the stubborn Yi Jing in front of him. Soon, the leader of the Yi family could present himself. Everyone present was momentarily shocked. Qin Mo wouldn't have fallen into the devil's path, right? The Yi family was really finished this time. Suddenly, the sound of cars came from afar. 2 cars loaded with the heads of the Yi family arrived. Qin Mo then sent someone to pay respect to them in front of the Hong family's grave. Seeing that the Yi family matter had been resolved, Qin Mo called out the old man hiding behind him. In the old man's arms was a newborn baby. The people present instantly recognized the old man as the old butler of the Hong family. Several people looked at the child in his arms in horror. At this moment, the old man spoke up to the martial artists. "Our Hong family has not yet died out. This is the biological son of the Hong family head and the young master is Hong Trung Tien." Qin Mo took the child from the old butler's hands. His sharp eyes scanned over everyone present. In the future, the child will establish the Hong family as the #1 martial arts family. Before the child grows up, I will arrange for someone to be responsible for everything. Whoever has the best idea should come forward now. If you still want to cause trouble in the future, the Yi family will be your end. Everyone present knelt down and expressed that they had absolutely no objections. From now on, we will take Hong Zhongtian as the leader. From today, the Deep family is destroyed. The great turmoil of the Trung Vo family. Those who once mocked Qin Mo, now a bunch of people are like poodles to Qin Mo, all kinds of flattery. People from the lower martial arts to the upper martial arts witnessed it with their own eyes. Qin Mo single-handedly opened the 2.0 era with the Hong family as the leader. Not long after, Qin Mo went to Qingjing University's back mountain to visit Shi Lu, who was killed by the Yi family. Just then, a rustling sound came from behind, causing Qin Mo to frown momentarily. Qin Mo turned around and saw Senior Long Wu. He was wearing tight-fitting clothes behind him. Qin Mo sensed the aura emanating from them. These people had all reached the peak of martial arts. This inevitably made Qin Mo start to feel nervous. "Is it because of the Deep family that you came? Do you want to fight me?" At this time, Long Wu, who was wearing a robe with a letter written on it, respectfully said to Qin Mo, "Today, we have come specially to receive the Lord. The Moso group has now been reorganized. We swear to assist young Master Qin in this life." Qin Mo heard this and had a vague expression. When did he have a group of Moso and become their master? Then Long Wu began to explain. Moso was founded after 20 years by Qin Mo's father. It was formed by the 40 strongest loose cultivators in China. Those monks are us now. That year, the Yin-Yang heaven was in chaos and Qin Mo's parents were hunted down. In order not to affect our Moso group, he disbanded us on the spot. Before your father left Yin-Yang, he said something. He said his son's name was Qin Mo. If Qin Mo can return to Yin-Yang and has the dragon and phoenix general, then we will be your assistants. If it's just an ordinary person, then just pretend it never happened. Now Qin Mo, not only did he pass the trial of the gods, but he also caused a huge disturbance in the world of martial arts. He completely matched the dragon and phoenix appearance that his father said. Long Ngo ordered someone to bring the Moso clan's clothes. If you want to become the master of the Moso clan, then accept this clothes. If you don't want to, then we wouldn't be here today. Hearing this, Shin Mo resolutely accepted. I, Shin Mo, am willing to become the master of the Moso clan. I will lead the Moso clan to surpass what my father did. Then Shin Mo took everyone back to the apartment to talk. Feng Ban is a team leader. Bin Duk is the leader of Group 2. Long Ngo is the leader of Group 4. 4 different groups of assignments. One group is strong in strength. The second reconnaissance logistics group. The 3 teams are in charge of tactics. Group 4 is responsible for the direction of operations of the Mozu control group. Shin Mo saw that there were only 3 people in front of him and immediately waved his hand and asked Long Ngo. Now that there were only 3 people here, where was the captain of Team 3? Long Ngo reluctantly said that the captain of Team 3 might need him to come and pick them up in person. The leader of Team 3 is named Tram Kok. He is the strategist of Motu, the only one that Mota cannot do without him. Zhanggu plays mahjong at home every day. He is the leader of Group 3, known as Zhuge Liang. His name is Zhanggu and he is truly a talented person. At this moment, Tram Kok was playing mahjong really badly. Truck Tucson looked at Tram Kok with her mouth wide open. Big brother, are you sure this is the strategist we wanted to invite? Why did he lose all the games? Tram Kok heard Truck Tucson speak and angrily turned around. He glared at Truck Tucson. If you're good then go. Shin Mo quickly waved his hand to show that his younger brother didn't understand. He could play around a bit. Shin Mo had obtained the true teachings of the gambling god Grandpa Yun. Using these gambling techniques against the villagers was truly too much fun. A small plate of money soon followed. Gradually grew into a large pile. Zhanggu looked straight at the money behind Shin Mo and kept praising him. Shin Mo had won more than 10 games in a row. The person sitting at the same table could not stand it, so he immediately made an excuse to leave. Just as Shin Mo was about to leave, Zhanggu enthusiastically walked towards Shin Mo. His attitude was completely different from before, and he asked in a very inquisitive manner. How can I continue to win like you? Do you have any tricks? Shin Mo looked at Zhanggu mysteriously and said, if you want to learn, you have to follow me. Then, he bowed his head and said, as long as Zhanggu follows me to Mozu, I will teach you. A talented person like you should not live in seclusion in the village. Hearing that, Tram Kok frowned and still came. You are the young master Shin Mo. Shin Mo replied that it was true, Mozu had been reorganized. I needed someone like you. Highly respected, talented, and resourceful to take charge. Having finished speaking, Tram Kok turned around and walked out, then said. I am old now. I don't have the heart to worry about DM Duong anymore. Please, Mr. Tan, stop. Then suddenly stopped and glanced at Shin Mo. All my life, I have only followed Shin Yanan. In this world, except for him, no one can control my Zhanggu's talent. Mr. Chin, please go back. That was just said. But in his heart, Zhanggu really wanted to learn Shin Mo's gambling skills. Outside the door, Zhu Xiaosong saw Shin Mo's sad appearance and decided to help him. Truck Tucson suddenly thought of a long time ago. There was a general named Truong Fai. At that time, he burned down the thatched house to wake up Jia Cat Luong who was sleeping. Without saying much, Truck Tucson secretly did something big without Shin Mo knowing. In my heart I thought this time Tan Caca will definitely know my talent. Not long after, Zhanggu's house caught fire fiercely. Seeing this, Shin Mo couldn't help but doubt that Senior Zhanggu wasn't a cultivator. Where was the smoke coming from? At this moment, Tram Kok panicked and ran out of the house. Who lit the fire? Did he want to burn me to death? Seeing this, Shin Mo quickly grabbed the bucket of water next to him and poured it directly on Tram Kok. Less than a moment later, Tram Kok's house was burned down. Only a pile of ashes remained. At this moment, Truck Tucong's face was full of confusion. Brother Tan, it seems like I made a mistake. Tucong just didn't want her brother to be bullied by this guy. At this time, Senior Tram Kok looked at his family with tears streaming down his face. Shin Mo was about to explain when Zhanggu interrupted him and said there was no need to explain. I will never return to Mozo to follow you. Finished speaking, Shin Mo knelt before Senior and apologized. If so, Junior will not force you anymore. Then give Zhanggu a permanent membership card of the Water Crystal Palace. The Dou family gave this card to me. Please, Senior Zhanggu, don't refuse. Bin Duong village, you can't stay any longer. I'll take you to Tuitin Palace. Not long after, Shin Mo took Mr. Zhanggu to the Water Crystal Palace. The Water Crystal Palace is the Yanyan high-end entertainment club. The best place to enjoy luxury. With a lifetime membership card, you can enjoy it for free here. Entering the clubhouse, Tram Kok couldn't help but raise his head. Get me a suite. Open a bottle of 82-year-old Lafite. Get me an extra personal assistant. But how could Shin Mo give all these things to him so easily? At this moment, Tramcock leisurely lay on the chair enjoying la fight 82 years old. He thought that this life could be lived like this. At this moment, the living room phone suddenly rang. Tramcock suspiciously picked up the phone. "It's me, Tramcock." The person on the other end of the line was Long Ngo, his voice familiar and concise. Jean Gu asked him suspiciously why he called him. Long Wu immediately said, "I will ask you one last question on behalf of young Master Qin. Can you finally return to Mozu?" After hearing this, Jean Gu calmly refused. "I said, Long Wu, in the past 20 years, you have become more and more regressive. Will you bow your head like a child? Jean Gu Haola was also once a genius of the Mozu. Qin Mo, even if he cannot accept me into the Mozu, he still has to be respectful to me." On the other end of the line, Long Wu started to show an evil smile. "Let me remind you first. Young Master Qin is someone who will not let go easily until he achieves his goal. He might even be more difficult to deal with than his father." What did he mean by that? Long Wu hung up the phone after saying this. What Long Ngo just said made Tramcock a little worried for a moment. Just as he was stunned, the door to the living room suddenly opened. The guards in black clothes walked in, their faces filled with murderous intent. At this moment, the manager of the Water Crystal Palace walked in with a dark face. He took out his membership card and shouted at Tramcock, "You have a lot of guts. You dare to use your cancelled membership card to come here and cheat us out of food and drink. You have spent $6 million today. Quickly pay us back now." The man continued to shout, "If you don't have money, don't even think about going today." Tramcock knew that of course that Qin Imo kid was playing with him. At this moment, several guards surrounded Tramcock. If Tramcock did not have money, they would personally take him to the police station. Just as the security guard brought him down, Qin Imo appeared in the lobby of the headquarters. He saw Jean Gu and immediately revealed a humorous expression. Qin Imo appeared to pay Senior Jean Gu. "But I have a condition that Senior must accept. That is to return to Mozu to be Qin Mo's strategist." At this time, the guard behind him fiercely threatened Jean Gu, forcing him to pay back millions of money. Jean Gu could only agree to Qin Mo's return to Mozu now. Scene change, Qin Mo and Jean Gu return to his father's hometown. They find the power that Qin Mo's father left him when he was alive. But just a group of Mozu is not enough to fight against the Qin family. Qin Mo followed the suggestion of strategist Jean Gu and took action at lightning speed. First, he acquired the Kong Pharmaceutical Company. Then, he attracted the 5 richest families of Yin-Yang. They were completely willing to stand on the same side with Qin Mo to build their own underground world. Invited Suzhia, the great mage of Miaogang, to come. He has the technique of dissecting 10,000 insects. This is also an important person that Qin Mo sees. But here's the thing. The islands to be purchased cost a total of $50 billion. Convert 50 billion into RMB to get more than 300 million. This amount is really a bit exaggerated. Qin Mo thought about it carefully and sighed heavily. Then he said he would find a way. Everyone didn't need to worry. At this moment, Qin Mo suddenly remembered that before killing the Deep family, it was also time to go to the Deep family to check the house. Scene changed 3 days later. After counting the cash that the Yi family collected, there are also 5 big businessmen providing financial support of $15 billion. This makes it difficult for Qin Mo to need another 35 billion. At this moment, Qin Mo remembered when he left Huahai. His roommate Qian Di had mentioned someone. If he had any problems in Yenyang, look for the man on the business card. Tramcock looked at the man on the business card. He is the head of the Qian family, a great ancient merchant family. It seems that this Qian Issei can help us break the situation. Not long after, Qin Mo and Zhu Shaosong arrived at the Qian family manor. As soon as they entered the courtyard, they could only describe it as inhumanly rich. They saw something made of pure gold. A person over 10 meters tall stood in front of Qin Mo. Even the Qian family's butler was wearing a golden robe. Hearing that the person who came was Qin Mo, he quickly let Qin Mo in. When the head of the Qian family saw Qin Mo coming, it was as if he had met a relative. Qin Mo boy, you should have come to me. Qin Mo boy, I know you are short of money right now. I really like your underground project. If the project is completed, it will also leave a way out for the descendants of the Tian family.